always trying to catch up with everything I'm doing. I'm always multitasking or doing multiple things at the same time, but all good, guys. Welcome. How you doing, guys? Nice to see you all. Hope you're all having a good week. Hey, Tasha. Oh, my goodness. Gabby, nice to meet you guys. Hi, welcome if you're new. How exciting. So, first and foremost, hey, Jamie. I am still not loving my backdrop. I have changed this 3 times now. And every time I'm so disappointed and I put so much work into it. I need to hire somebody to do it. But we'll get there. Aside from that, everything is good, guys. So, I've been doing a lot of reading and learning about quantum leaping lately, which has been fun. Just taking care of my babies as usual. This time I made sure I gave him the treatment beforehand. For those of you who don't know who I knew, I have a rescue. So I had a mite infestation recently. So I got that sorted and I didn't do the mistake twice. So yeah, so that's it, guys. And I've been working on a new online course. So it's been fun. I've been busy as always. So how we doing, guys? I see a few people trickling in. So welcome, y'all. For those of you who are new, my name is Jacqueline. I do these hopefully once a week if I'm not too busy. And essentially, it's very simple how it works. So we're going to start off with a group reading so everybody gets something. You're all here for a reason. I promise you. There is going to be something that you're going to receive today, some aha moment. We have a lot of fun on these lives. We always get to chat. It always goes really deep as well. I'm a bit of a character, so I do give you the heads up. If you haven't figured that out within the first 2 minutes. So, just a heads up there. And then essentially, if people give donations, of course, it's not expected, but if somebody gives a donation, essentially you lock your position in for a reading and you get a longer reading. If nobody gives a donation, no problem. I will still take questions, one-on-ones. It's just letting you know how the structure works, of course. So we're going to begin with a group reading, and I see a few people are still trickling in. And yes, oh, thank you, Gabby. Got you down. And I have to write it down because I do sometimes lose track, depending on how many people show up and want the reading. So what are you doing here? Rude. Sorry, it's a flea. I don't kill them, but at the same time, I'm like, get off my desk. All right, guys. So we're going to do a group reading. I'm going to start with a group reading, and then I got Gabby first in line for the one-on-one. So I'm just going to take a moment. Obviously, call forth. Thank you, Tasha. Call forth your spiritual team. Invite them to send any information. I promise you a lot of the times you will find in the group reading, there's a lot of synchronicities here. So we'll just see what happens. Okay, I forgot to do my protection circle to begin with as well. So I just quickly did that. Let's see what comes up. This is a group reading, like I said, for the coming week. This one's feeling hot. It's getting hot. Okay, attitude. All right, jeez Louise. That one just flew out. Okay. Ooh. Nice. Love this. Cards of attitude today, guys. Oh, from the Netherlands. Hello, Angelique. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome. Nice to meet you, my love. All right, guys. So we're just doing a group reading right now for those of you just joined. So we got the Hermit card. Now, where at the time, I mean, depending on what part of the world you're yes, I know, Tasha, they have attitude. I'm telling you, sometimes they fly anyway. So the Hermit card, essentially what I'm hearing is this is a time to retreat. Of course, depending on what time of the year, where in the world you are, it's technically winter time. So winter time, essentially, it's all about going within, all about quietening down and reflection and processing what happened in the year, making goals for the next year. So essentially, this is really a time of reflection, of slowing down towards the end of the year. And even if you're not slowing down physically or for chores or work or whatever, mentally and spiritually, I think it's a very good time to do that. If you guys hear loud sounds, I don't know what's going on outside, but I think they're like drilling something outside. So if you hear it, just let me know. So essentially, it's a time for introspection. So it's really just a time to go within, to really take a moment to look at your year and think about the things that worked, that didn't work out. Oh, Australia, Candy Van Rude. That's a great name. Welcome, my love. Welcome. So when we're going within as well, this is just a great time to sort of, again, make plans for the next year, right? So there's been, I'm sure you've had success, and I'm sure you've had things that haven't worked out this year, and that's okay. You know, we can't put so much pressure on ourselves and expect every year to be fantastic. Certain years are meant to be more challenging. I think also I'm a big fan of like numerology and like Chinese astrology. I don't really look into star signs and stuff, but I'm more into that for some reason. So again, looking at your numerology for the year to come and all that sort of stuff, it kind of gives you hints as to what you are learning. For instance, this was a 7 year for me. And 7 is very like spiritual growth. And literally I've been building my spiritual business all year. But there are things, of course, that work, that didn't work. And it's all just essentially about readjustment from the inside. But the good thing, news, guys, is the next one is talent and skills. I love this. So there's a reason why we need to go inside, right? So that we can refine our talents and skills. And of course, who doesn't love money, right? So for a lot of us, this could be essentially refining these things so that next year or the coming months or whatever the next plan that we have allows us to bring in that abundance, whatever that may be. Now, that may be for some of you to want to have a family, to want to have a relationship. I got those. I don't have the family part, but I've got the relationship, as in I don't have kids. Don't want them. But if you do, that's amazing. You know, whatever it is that you want. But I'm really focused on building finances. I'm really building something, a foundation. I'm building my rescue. I'm building my spiritual business, you know. So these are the things that I'm focusing on. And so what are you focusing on at the moment? What is it that you want for yourself, for your future, for your life? Where do you want to go? And start channeling those inner thoughts towards those things so that you can refine it and bring in that abundance, whatever abundance means to you. But healing second chance. Okay, so whenever we get swords in the cards, often this means the mind. Hey, Nicola, good to see you again, love. The mind, right? So I'm a firm believer that everything that we manifest and create first starts from here. Okay, this machine in our brain, well, the brain is the machine. You guys get what I mean. For me, it's like a filter, right? So one of the downloads that I've been getting recently as well, it's really all about clearing out this filter. Half the time, it's not even about what we want. Half the time is all about healing what we resist. What is in the way, the lack, the programming where we say that we're not good enough, that it's not possible, that this can't happen, it's not going to happen to you. Those are the things that oftentimes I find that if we can just heal those things, the doors open up suddenly. But we often try to just move forward and we're like, all right, I want to make more money. So I'm going to do 5 online courses and I'm going to like spend all my time building my business. But then you don't work on all the shadows, all the things that essentially are holding you back, all the mental blocks essentially, which of course the mind affects the heart, the emotions, and the emotions affect your frequency, and your frequency affect your actions and of course what you attract. So you got to remember that. But I really do believe it all starts from the mind and then it goes out that way. So again, this introspection that we're going to go into is about us rewiring our brain and really becoming aware of the shadows, the shadow aspects within us. You know, one of the things that came up for me, for instance, this year is like, I realized because my acting career really took off at one point. Like I was doing amazing. I was just like, boom, I was going like this. And then this is many, many years ago, by the way. And then I developed some addiction problems, my mental problems. I hadn't dealt with a lot of my shadows. And guess what happened? I got to the peak and then I just went back down. And now that I'm rebuilding that, what I've realized is that along the way of trying to rebuild this, I've developed traumas along the way. And so now I have a bad imprint with my career, with my acting career. There's fear, there's trauma, there's resentment, there's anger. Well, as before, when I started that, I didn't have all of that. So now I have to go back and repair all of these shadows and rewire my relationship to the acting industry. Even though I've been doing amazing, I've been working all year, but I'm ready to up level. And so I did some quantum leaping work recently. I went and I actually worked. There's a new meditation that I did that I highly recommend you guys do because it's epic. It's basically you're getting like spiritual surgery. So there are 5 beings. I'm assuming they're between the 2 realms of like when we transition and the physical realm. And they do rewire some of your blueprint. It will be on Insight Timer, so I do highly recommend you check it out. Hey, Thomas, nice to meet you. Welcome from Canada. Ironically, that's a sign for me. That's a synchronicity. So once I did that, suddenly my manager literally sends me a message about a job that is possibly in Canada. And I have not had an opportunity like this for a very long time. Now, I don't know if I got the audition, but I took it as a good sign, okay? So again, when we start rewiring, suddenly things start coming to us. So we got to do the work, right? We got to become aware. We got to just be brave enough to face it and acknowledge it and just do the inner work, because the inner work is what changes the outside. Hey, Nakisha, good to see you, my love. How you doing? Welcome, guys. Good to see you. Hi. Okay, so that is the group reading for everybody. Now we're going to go into the one-on-ones. So I have Gabby, who's first. Gabby, my lovely friend. Whenever you're ready, just type in your question. Unless you're ready, a lot of times people already have them ready and they're like just like bam. So whenever you're ready, just type your question. Yes, Nicola, as usual, right now I have 2 people who've given donations, Nicola. So we just have a system. Once we get through them, Nicola, if you're still here, I'll definitely give you a reading. At any point, what are your thoughts on manifestation? What do you mean? Gabby, no problem. Take your time because I'm going to answer Loney anyway. Donation box up. Oh, okay. Is that what it is? Make a okay. Well, the minimum is like $5.99. Is this what it is? I only have the minimum though. I don't know why it's that expensive. I mean, okay. So what am I really believe in manifestation. Okay. So I have manifested a ton of things in my life. I've also had a hard time manifesting things. I have an online course, by the way, on Insight Timer, guys, on manifesting. So I do recommend you go and check it out. And a recent one on quantum leaping financially. I'll give you an example. Like I manifested, I'm just going to give you guys the numbers just so you understand. I've been trying to manifest $100,000 now. Well, I did manifest it. I had been trying to manifest $100,000, and it took me a few years, and then I did actually manifest it. I actually manifested almost double that at one point. No, not double that. It was like 150. And this came from a family member out of nowhere. So I have manifested my car. I manifested the green card lottery, which I won to stay in the US. So yeah, I do believe in manifestation. I've seen it happen. However, once we understand that, Thompson, do I have any pets? Sorry, I'm laughing because I really do. I have over 40 animals right now in my care. I have a lot of animals. I have a rescue, so yeah, I do. I've seen it happen. You know, I've manifested my Tesla. You know, one of my dream cars was my Tesla, and I was quantum leaping that and manifesting that for a very long time. So yeah, I totally believe in it, 100%. Got it, Nicola. Thank you so much. So yeah, definitely I've seen it happen, and I've seen it happen in crazy ways, and other times it's been a little bit harder. Again, oftentimes when we don't manifest, it's because of the things that we have subconsciously programmed that we don't think that we are worthy half the time. Yeah, of course, Nicola, you are just third in line. So right now I'll go Gabby, Tasha, and then it's you, okay? So just got to be a little patient, my love. So I'm going to give Gabby her reading now, so just give me 1 second. Okay, I have just closed a big chapter involving lots of healing for not just myself, but my family as well. Amazing. Today, my Abula, I'm sure, is that your grandmother, I'm assuming, or passed away? Grandma, okay, got it. That's what I thought it was. Oh, I'm so sorry, my love. The last few weeks have been tragically beautiful. I feel something is coming next, but I'm wondering if it's, sorry, if it for what I long for or continuing of a different trajectory. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm sorry for your loss, but oftentimes, you know, it's funny. I love it how you said it's been beautifully tragic, because death is just the next phase, as far as we understand, from near-death experiences and stuff. And I literally was listening to Darius J. Wright yesterday, and he was saying something about like death should really be celebrated, but we're taught to like mourn it because, of course, we miss the person, you know. But all right, Gabby, let's see. Let's see what's coming up for you. Okay, these ones want to come up. What is that, by the way? Ebula. Is it like I'm assuming it's from a country, a way of saying it. Oh, guys, thank you for the love that you're sending her. I love that. And yes, Thompson, by the way, as far as animals, I got a lot. You might hear the guinea pigs in the background occasionally making sounds. I haven't introduced you guys to my rats yet still. Teddy is amazing. He's one of my rats. He's super cute. He's very friendly. These cards today, I'm telling you, they're like, bye, bitch. All right. So let's see what came up. Okay, so let me just check one thing again. Sorry, guys. Multitasking as usual, and also I'm getting like information as we're doing this. So it's funny. For a different trajectory. Okay. So you got this card here, and I don't know if you can see it, but for me, what I'm seeing here is like this light shining upon you. And I feel, I mean, I'm not a medium, Gabby, by the way, but I do feel like she's watching over you. Like whenever I feel that energy, it's like the first thing I saw is that she's just with you right now for whatever reason. And what I'm hearing as well, it's like they're saying when people transition as well, they can actually be a lot more helpful to us. And apparently that's like easier to communicate with them. One of the for some reason, this is something that I'm hearing for you as well. It's like asking her to give you signs to build still a relationship with her where you can ask for specific signs. You tell her what the sign is though. So for instance, let's just say like a pink rose could be a very specific sign. It's not a common rose to see, or a butterfly wing or a gold star or whatever it is, so that she can actually help you and guide you as well. Because this is something that I feel like when people pass on, they love helping us along the way, and they want to. Oh, it's Spanish. There you go. I got it. So that's one thing that I'm hearing like very strongly about this. And again, I don't usually get mediumship stuff, but this is coming through very clearly. Hummingbirds as well. Yeah, I get it all the time, but I've had crazy stories from clients. Like one of them is like a friend that basically asked, well, it's a client, sorry, that she asked about a specific word, and then a photo of her father somehow showed up with that word in the photo. So it was like crazy things like that. So the other thing that they're saying here is just to stay in alignment with good habits and to release things that no longer serve you. So also nature came up as well. I don't know if like the way you communicate with her is nature. I'm getting multiple things. Sorry, I'm just getting one. I'm still getting like the grandma stuff that she's like going back to nature, something to do with nature. So I don't know if the signs around that. But the other thing that I'm also getting is like be aware of releasing the things that no longer serve you. It's like a big one. So it's like whatever it is that you're trying to go, or if you're trying to be in connection to your intuition, if we allow these negative energies around us, essentially they're a distraction, right? So even though we might get a sign, it's very difficult for us to receive that message. So one of the things that I'm hearing here is just be aware of it could be negative thinking, by the way. It doesn't have to be outside sources necessarily. It also can be outside sources, like maybe toxic friends who just like belittle you or might not say, I don't know what the thing is. You have to trust yourself there, Gabby. But it's coming in very strongly. It's like, if you really want to know whether you're going left or right, be aware of like just being present with yourself, with your needs, and of course connecting even to your grandmother. For some reason, this is like very much coming up because I think she really wants to help you. The other thing that I'm getting here is you got the mystic angels are both tough and healers, reminding you that strength and sensitivity can coexist. You have the power to discover who you truly are. You only need to see it on your own. Above all, let go of social expectations and be aware of subconscious programming that keep you in fear. So again, and I want to just clarify what your question is, because so yeah, you want to know if you want to continue on a path or change direction, basically. And what I'm hearing here as well, it's like one of the things that we forget is that sometimes we think it's very black and white. I can only do this, so I can only do that. I can only be kind, but I can't be mean. You can be both, you know. Like, I am extremely loving, extremely sensitive, extremely kind, but you mess with me and it's not going to be nice, okay? I am not afraid of showing my dark side. We're multidimensional beings, and this can be with many other things as well, with your business, with your job. Maybe you can continue on the trajectory and have something else on the side. That's up to you to figure out. But what essentially happens is that we as humans, we put ourselves in a box and we think that we have to be inside that box because that's how society feels more comfortable with reading us. But the truth of the matter is you can be this and that. You can do this and that. Of course, don't overwhelm yourself with too many things. But the idea is essentially is like, don't limit yourself either. And again, we got social conditionings again and again, subconscious programming and fear coming up. So I'm invited again to remind you to dive deep into those things. It's like, is this really true, or is this what I've been told to be true? So have I been told, oh, you can only be one thing or the other? But is it really true? Because if there are other people out there who are doing what you want to do and more, or that and this, then obviously there's more to it than you know or understand. So our conditioning is very tricky as well, because it's hard to even recognize that it is a programming or a conditioning. Oftentimes we don't even realize it. We're just, oh, that's just how things are. No. We're very much like, that's the whole point of like being hypnotized or in a program, is that you don't know that you're being hypnotized or that you're in a program. Doesn't have to be terrifying or anything. It just means like, trust that there is more to it, and maybe start being a little bit more curious as to what that could be, and opening up to more possibility and say, yeah, I can do more than what I think I can. You got the mystic stars are here to awaken the magic within you, the deep wisdom and the inner knowing that has always been a part of you. They remind you of your divine connection to the spiritual realm and encourage you to trust your intuition. In a world full of illusion, it's essential to see beyond the surface and recognize the truth. Literally what I've been saying. Open your mind, embrace your power, and allow the stars to guide you towards clarity and enlightenment. So again, what is this coming up is like tapping into a little bit more of your spirituality in this situation where you need to make a decision. So not looking so much on the outside world for validation, not looking for like, oh, this is the logical thing to do, because sometimes the answer is not always logical. Sometimes it's a spiritual answer. Sometimes it's an emotional answer. So what I'm hearing here is like, you really, in this situation, you don't know whether to go left or right. They're asking you really to use your spiritual gifts to help you with this, to get the signs. Again, your grandmother's one of them that you can ask her for the guidance and for the answers, because she can give you a clear answer. But also like starting to explore that for yourself. It's like, okay, if I'm meant to go left, give me a sign. And my favorite thing about this, guys, by the way, it's that you're going to know if it's right for you or not, because if you do get that and you feel disappointed, then you know you were meant to go right. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, should I go here or here? And then you get the thing, you're like, oh, I really wanted that one. Then you know anyway you were meant to go the other way. So just a little thing, FYI. But we got more information here. Yes. So you got the hedged man. I always want to say hangman. That's not what it is. That's a very different card. You got the hedged man. So waiting, choosing, rebalancing, figuring it out. This is essentially what I'm getting, Gabby. So it's like don't put too much stress on yourself and this I have to have the answer right now. Just understand it is a process. But also it is also a decision within yourself. So the decision could be like, all right, like I said, you can go left, but then realize it wasn't right for you. And then you can always change your mind. We put so much pressure on ourselves that it's like, once we make a decision, that's it. It's like, no, you have the power to change your mind. You can choose direction, change direction if you want. And again, but that's also like testing and trusting your own spiritual gifts, listening to your intuition, getting to know your intuition here. I'm asking for a sign, you get a sign, you move with it. It might not be right, then it probably was your ego, and that's okay, you know. But trusting that you're so powerful and able to co-create, there's no such thing as messing things up. However, we got some good signs. You got the World, okay? The World card's a great card, okay? You're going to figure it out. You're going to be okay. It's going to work out for you. You got the World in your hands, Gabby. You got so much opportunity, so much blessing, so much that is in available to you. The difference is, again, don't look at a limiting belief, because when we hold on to limiting beliefs, we forget that we have this gift, and we only look at the things that we don't have, which are like this in compared to what you do have. So what I'm hearing here again is shifting into understanding that, number one, you can't mess it up. Number two, you have gifts and resources to help you make this decision, whether it's something you want to continue or not. And again, the best way to look at it is like, if I stayed on this trajectory in 5 years' time, would I regret this? Yes or no? And if I chose to do something different, would I regret this? And probably the reason why you regret the choice that is the second choice is because you don't know what's going to happen. This choice, you know exactly what's going to happen. But the truth of the matter is, this can come up with so much opportunities and change and who knows what. But as humans, we like knowing what's going to happen because it makes us feel safe. But that doesn't always mean it's a safe choice. So you got to remember that. And then finally, we got Justice here. So again, it's a matter of honoring your choices, okay? So balancing, and it says honoring your choices. You got to make a decision and honor it and trust yourself. Take that risk, but either way, it's not really a risk if you're listening to your intuition, if you're really trusting yourself. And you know, there's a difference between somebody as well who's making a reckless decision. And listen, I've done plenty of those, and I'm still okay. But you know, at some point, like if I looked at my life like 2 years ago when I decided to quit all my jobs and just pursue my passions, to some people that's a reckless choice. But I was a waitress. Like, where am I gonna go from there? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, because I got a secure paycheck, but I'm miserable and I hate myself and I hate my life and I hate everybody. It's like, yeah, that's a great choice. But I got that paycheck. No. But to me at the time, quitting all of that and just pursuing my passion's insane. But that again is within the programming. It's like you need that safety. There's no safety in it for me. So again, looking at the facts here, but just trusting your choices, trusting yourself, because in your heart, I think you know what it is. It's just maybe it's just a fear of making that choice. Does that make sense, Gabby? And I know, guys, sometimes you want me to give you the answer, but I want you guys to come up with the answer sometimes too, you know, because I can tell you what I would do. And again, even any psychic or anybody who comes and gives you, the reason why I don't like giving answers, well, sometimes I will because it's very obvious and I can see people going down the wrong street and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to help you out here. But you should never take somebody's like, oh, you should definitely go down this road. Then you're giving somebody full power to decide your life. And it should not be like that. I can show you what I'm seeing and I can show you the way and I can give you the tools of what's going on. And then the decision should be yours always. So does that make sense, you know? So you got this, girl. You just got to trust yourself. And when you learn to trust yourself, you can't let yourself down. Esmeralda, hey, welcome. You're so welcome, Gabby. Thank you so much. Best of luck. And definitely send your grandmother that sign, okay? So that she can send it to you, because I'm very excited about that. I definitely feel like you're going to get that sign. All right, Tasha, you're next. Da, da, da. I feel like I gotta dance or something while I'm waiting. Yes, Max. When you choose to trust yourself, everything will be okay. But it's, you know what it's also just about? It's stop giving everybody else the power. I didn't get it, Tasha. Sorry. Do you? Oh, there it is. It was just above. But also, you know, you got to keep doing the work as well, because sometimes, again, let's just say that you have severe addiction problems. You're not going to be making the best choices there. Okay. So you got to be able to tell the difference between your ego and your intuition. And the best way to test that is to test that. You'll know it's one or the other, because one you'll face plant and the other one will help you out. But oftentimes the secret between your intuition and your ego is the ego is often loud, and it uses fear, it uses reward, it uses temptation, all those kind of things, right? The intuition oftentimes doesn't make much sense. You don't really see the reward. You just have this feeling. It's like this little whisper that keeps coming back time and time again. Go left. You should probably go left. Hey, maybe you should go left. That's kind of what it's like, which is why people miss it, because it's not loud. Looking for some general guidance under a lot of change. I have moved, left a relationship, and I am completely starting again. Amazing. Amazing for you, Tasha. I know it's a lot, but it is amazing. So let's see what comes up. I'm just going to tune in. There's a story, just go left. Oh, there you go. Also, Beyonce made a song about that. To the left, to the left. Obviously, I sounded just like Beyonce. You're welcome, guys. I entertain myself way too much, okay. Oh, it's you, Fila. Thank you, Gabby. I know. I honestly think I should have gone to like American Idol or something like that. That would have been one of those amazing stories where people just like make fun of me. So Tasha as well, quick question. I wonder what your numerology is for the year. And by the way, guys, how you do that is you calculate your month, the day, the month, and then 2025. So 2025 is a number 9. So for instance, I am, wait, is it? 8. Now I'm lost my brain. Now I'm getting confused. I confuse myself. I have to do that manually. Is that how you do it? Yeah, 2025 is a 9, but I can't remember if like some 4. Wait, then I was wrong. I'm terrible. Oh no, I'm right. Yes. Okay. So for instance, I was born on June 1st and then 2025 9. So if you add 6 plus 1 equals 7, because the 9, you cancel out the 9. So basically whatever number it is. It's hard to explain. I'm really bad at this. I can't multitask right now. But trust me, whenever there's a 9, you cancel out the 9. But if it's any other number, basically add them all up together. It'll still end up being, for me, 7. God, I cannot explain myself today at all. Esmeralda, yes. So I've got 2 people right now that I've got in line for who've given donations. But once I get through them, I will take questions as well, unless you put a donation, in which case you just get a longer reading, but no stress either way. Okay, so sorry guys, so you plus 6 plus 1 plus 9. Okay, so 9, 10, 16, 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so if that makes any sense, hopefully it's making sense. Oh, so Loni, I do actually have a course on that, by the way. Let me see. I guess I had to do this before. That makes sense. But I do have a course on Insight Time, essentially, that is like on how to develop your psychic gifts, just so you know. So I highly recommend you go and check that out. Yes, Nicola, it's your turn soon. Don't worry. So, Bindi, from what I understood, yeah, you do your, yeah, that's it. Nikisha just showed you guys how to do it. So apparently for the year. I've heard it some other ways, but that's the way apparently you do it. So anyway, I'm back to Tasha. So September 20th, July, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September to 9. Oh, okay, so it's a 2-year for you. Interesting. So it's I would have thought it would have been a 9-year for you, but it's a 2-year. So 2 is really about, interesting enough, it's about the feminine energy, spiritual evolution, spiritual connection to the feminine, and duality. So relationships, interesting enough, but for you it's like departed, but it's probably because it meant to unite you to something else. Okay, so okay, I love that. Beautiful. Okay, so the first thing that came up, Tasha, is that this is a time really where you need to nurture yourself and take care of yourself, okay? And those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful, practical and wise advice. Okay, so I know that everything is changing, but everything is also changing because essentially what I'm hearing, everything is upgrading for you. So it is like, thank you guys, Esmeralda, got you down. You're upgrading something. So oftentimes, when we change and shift identity, when we shift who we are, unfortunately, part of the consequences of that is that things just fall out because they don't match our frequency anymore. So for you, I really do feel like this is actually a big upgrade. I don't think it's a downgrade. I don't think it might have not felt great because of course it was very challenging. But what I'm hearing here is that you are upgrading. So use this time to manifest things in a positive place. Do your best to shift your frequency, knowing this in yourself, trusting this in yourself. Because if we fall into, this is something that happened to me, it's not fair, if only they could have, you don't want to walk into the new energy with that frequency. You want to walk into it and going like, everything works out for my best interest. Everything happens for my highest and greatest good. It's almost like you're planting that seed no matter what the reality of the outside is. So your inner world, your inner frequency is much more powerful and stronger than the events that are happening around you. And oftentimes, by the way, Tasha, when we lose everything, it is actually a really good sign. I know it doesn't feel like it, but if you look at anybody who tells you a story, who's a multimillionaire, who's been very successful. I mean, Joey from Friends is a great story. He lost everything just before he got Friends. He was at his lowest and he lost everything. He was living in his car. He was about to just pack up and leave, and he booked Friends, and his life completely changed. So I know several people that go through this. I just feel like it's just be aware of how you're dealing with it. Despite the outside, still believe in yourself, believe in the outcome, trust that everything is just rebuilding for you. And of course, you got this card here. Everything happens for a reason. Release regret and embrace the opportunities for happiness. Search for the silver lining. This is literally, this I feel like encompasses everything that happened to you, all the things that you have lost, as well as, of course, the relationship, right? You had to walk away from everything and leave everything behind. But you see, this is Archangel Raphael, and Raphael is the angel of healing, okay? Especially heart chakra, which is very interesting. So again, I really strongly feel, Tasha, that this was happening because you needed to heal certain things. I just don't feel like some things in the relationships weren't giving you what you really deserved. There was something that that I think was recreating an old wound, or that you couldn't get away from it, or something that was still like just was lacking or wasn't right or wasn't feeling, I'm not seeing too much into the relationship, but what I'm feeling is that was just like, it wasn't it. Excuse me. So what I'm hearing here is like there was a shift within you emotionally, because now you're ready to attract somebody who really can love you for who you are, who really sees your worth, and can really give you what you want from a relationship, to really feel loved. And I love this card because it ends with the Ace of Ariel. Look at her. She's freaking balling. It's your lucky day. New resources of money, time, or support. A change in a job or promotion. So I do see financial or abundance at least coming in for you now, because you've emptied out and you've made space in your energy. You've like literally cleared out everything. Now it's time for new things to come in. So again, this is why I'm going back to this card. Be very mindful about your thoughts right now and how you're manifesting, and not so much looking back at the things that you've lost or that have moved away, more so at the place of peace and the vastness and the openness for new opportunities, new energies, new life coming in. And asking yourself, what do I want to manifest? This is a great time, Tasha, for you to do a lot of quantum leaping, a lot of manifestation work, all of that stuff. Because when you have that empty energy, it's like you have a white canvas. So now you're ready to paint and co-create. But when you're full with distractions and things, it's hard to add things into it. I mean, we can, but it slows down the process. So you're in a really good space to be able to literally start something amazing and create something wonderful. I'm just checking something. Sorry, I'm going back. Okay, here we go. A lot of spiritual connection, bringing back faith for me. Everything is upgrading. The relationship wasn't going anywhere. Everything is happening for my greater good. I've done a lot of work on myself for my past 4 weeks. I feel in my throat too. That's maybe why I was coughing. Thank you. Just needed that reassurance that I'm not on, that I am on the right path. Please tell me more about where I can access quantum leaping, as you were discussing before. Yeah, so absolutely. So I have a ton of stuff on that. I'm doing a lot of work around quantum leaping. So for those of you who don't follow me, you can also go into my bio and like my YouTube channel. There's always videos that I'm putting up now, lesson of the week, as well as my online courses on Insight Timer. I have several on financial quantum leaping. I have one on manifestation, on energy shielding, on connecting to your angels, your spirit guides. They've been getting great reviews, so I like to think that people like them. And if they don't give me, no, I'm joking. So I'm sure there's something there that you like. So just go and check out my profile. Obviously, because you're already in Insight Time, it's free for you guys. So just go and do some of my courses. I'm sure it's nice to have it in the background, as well as my meditations. My meditations are, I think, my greatest gift. All my meditations I channel. So it's information, it's downloads that I receive. It's changed my life. And I know I have quantum leaping. Just type in quantum leaping or just sift through my library. I promise you'll find something in there. Thank you, Nikisha. Thank you. And I've got a new course, by the way, guys, on financially quantum leaping, but you can apply the same principle with your finances with anything else. So remember, you just shift the word finance to love, to health, whatever it may be. Okay. So one of the things that will give you all a tip about quantum leaping is that when you quantum leap, you are already there. So when I was driving my old Nissan Versa 2012, which it had paint that was peeling off, it was manual, where I had to like manually wind down the window. In my mind, I was so proud. I was driving my Tesla and I saw the T, and I would get into that car and I'd smell the new car. I would see the white interior. I would pretend that when I walked out of my car, I was proud. I played this game for so long. When I was driving and people pull up, I was like, that's right, I'm driving a Tesla. And of course, I'm in a Nissan Versa, right? But you guess what, guys? I manifested my car. So, that's quantum leaping. So you got to think from the place of already having it, not what if or what it would be like. You've already got it. So one of the things that I heard when somebody said, it was like this woman who I follow, who I really like, she's upscaled her business insanely. She's like, when I don't look at the problems of my business, even though I have some things around that, but what she's saying is like, I step in from the version of me that has $100 million business, and I approach the business from that mindset, not from the $1 million mindset. She's already got $1 million business, so she's thinking $100 million now, right? So she's upgrading that thought. Wonderful, thank you. I'm doing 2 to 3 meditations a day, so I will look you up for sure. Thanks for the reading. Of course, anytime, Tasha. And not to brag, but I am very proud of my meditations. It's literally what I do for a job. I love what I do. And again, I work with the angelic realm and lately aliens as well. So that's been an interesting one. But, whatever whatever works. Nicola, my friend. And then I've got Esmeralda, you're after Nicola, okay? So almost there with you. Okay. I was resigned to stay on my own after a horrendous marriage that a friend cropped up, who I was very close. We speak a lot and was very connected. I know I now want a relationship, but I freeze at the very thought. I'm also outspoken, super independent, hypervigilance. He is fine, patient, but I didn't see this coming. Okay, so I get it. So you basically have met somebody and you're essentially afraid to open up your heart because this has been unexpected. Got it. So we'll see what comes up, Nicola. This already was hot. Sometimes the unexpected isn't bad. All right, relax. Jeez Louise. Piggies, what are you doing? No, they're asleep. Nicola, I'm just laughing because it's funny. Because you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, my friend. Okay, so whenever you start a new relationship, guys, one of the things I will say is don't go into a relationship like a wounded animal from your previous relationship, okay? And I know it's easier said than done. I was an expert at that one. I have a really sad story about that, actually, where I trusted somebody. And anyway, that's how I learned that lesson, by getting slapped in the face big time. So one of the things that came up for you, Nicola, my friend, is this one here, which is time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and then take action. A need for detoxification. So, Nicola, the detox for me, it's really detoxing the past relationship that you had. I still think that what I'm hearing here is that you're still very wounded from that relationship. Obviously, it wasn't easy, right? And unfortunately, when we don't fully heal or allow ourselves to process, what happens is we bring that shit into the next relationship. And oftentimes that can manifest in a giant wall where we're just like, I am not letting anybody in ever again. They're never, ever, ever going to hurt me ever again. I remember actually meeting one guy once where he had a tattoo that said never, ever again. And I asked him about it and he said, I will never, ever let anybody love me or in ever again. And I thought that was the saddest thing ever. He literally had it tattooed on his arm. So he got damaged once and that was it for him. Everybody else was just horrible. So we don't want to do that, guys. So there's a need to energetically detox. I know, that's really sad, right? I know, I broke my heart too. So the detoxing phase, Nicola, essentially is just letting your heart be open again. But if you're not ready, you're not ready. And that's okay too, all right? Here's the thing though. I look at people at what they do, not what they say. So if this guy is somebody, or girl, whatever you're into, if this person is kind and showing up and good for you, you don't let anyone in, but we're good friends. Yeah, but the problem is, Nicola, the truth of the matter is, we are pack animals. Listen, I'm with you. If I could just be by myself in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains, I would, okay? But the truth of the matter is humans need one another, whether we like it or not. We're not good for each other, that's for sure, but we do need one another. So the only way that you can be healthily around people is if you do the work, okay? And when you do the work, you know your boundaries, you know your strength. Nobody can hurt you anymore. Max, yes, it can mean letting go. It just depends on the individual. Everybody's going to be different on what they're going to need, Okay, so letting go, I would say, of the resentment, of the negativity, of the pain. You see, if you walk into a new relationship with a broken heart, then essentially you're expecting the other person to fix it for you, right? You want to walk into a new relationship. Obviously, nobody's perfect. Nobody's like, hey, I'm fucking perfection here. But we want to walk in with a heart that is open to receiving love and to give love. But sometimes people walk in so damaged that they're like, you fix me, you prove it. Prove to me that you're worthy. And oftentimes that's a closed up heart. It's like, you're going to have to work so fucking hard for me to trust you. And oftentimes what happens with that kind of relationship is the minute you do, they'll screw you over. So it's you know what I mean? So you want to walk in knowing your boundaries, because when you have a healed heart, when somebody does something, you're out. You're like, no, because I don't fucking need you to fix me. You see? You're giving somebody else the power. And ultimately what ends up happening, you're subconsciously becoming codependent. So when you walk in as like, I'm wounded, but I'm good. I can fix myself, but I'm willing to let you help me, and I'm going to help you. Very different energy. I need heal first. My ex playing games and don't see. Okay, but that's what I'm saying, Nicola. Why are you still in contact with your ex? That's the stuff that you need to detox out of your life. When we have a negative relationship, I'm not allowing to fix me. Yeah, of course. But Nicola, if you still have a relationship, some kind of connection to your ex, then that your ex is kind of still involved in your relationship. So this is actually making a lot of sense right now, right? So it's hard to start something new when you still have... Yeah, okay, good. You blocked him. But don't let him in again, because it's this back and forth, right? So there's a part of you that also, when we're in toxic relationships, they can be very addictive, okay? Because sometimes to some of us, extreme relationships mean love. If somebody treats me like shit and then like buys me a bunch of flowers, that means love to me, because that's what I know and recognize as love. But sometimes for me, like my husband, you can consider him to be pretty boring as a person, in the sense of like, he's very one tone. But the more I got to know him, the less boring, of course, it was. But I was so used to like extreme craziness that I took that as love. And if nobody was that crazy, then you obviously didn't love me. You know, no, it doesn't mean any of that. Sometimes kind is exactly what you need. So again, I'm not telling you what to do here, but all I'm saying is, you need to detox, my friend. You need to let go. There's a part of you that needs to heal some of this past stuff if you want to go into a new relationship, or at least be open, or at least even know whether it is right for you or not. Okay, so when you are still somewhat mixed in, the channels aren't clear. I always say it's like, if you really want to attract love, your heart has to be free. And if it's still filled up by your past, there's no space for somebody else to enter in. The next card that you got, Nicola, is new beginnings. Okay, starting a new life, finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. So again, this is not even about this person, Nicola. This is really about you. Okay, so if you're in a good place, you'll know exactly what to do. You're not even going to be like, should I or should I not? You'll just know what to do. So again, what I'm hearing here is, forget about this guy that you're friends with or whatever. Right now, this is where you're at. There's still healing that you need to do from your ex. There's still a lot of healing that you need to get so that you can start a new life, so that you can open up new chapters and be free and get what you deserve, right? Yeah, and you're in a better place, but you're still not quite there, because there's this back and forth. And the fact is, you're still thinking about your ex. You see, like, they can pass your mind, right? But how often do you still think about them? And how often do they come up in your reality? Or how many times a day do you like, oh, that fucking asshole just fucking, whatever it is. That means you're not completely healed yet. So what I'm hearing here, it's time for you to clear out that space, because you really want to open yourself up to these beautiful energies, to these beautiful opportunities. And if this guy might be right for you, then at least you can have that in, right? And you can actually enjoy your life for a moment and not be tortured by your past. That's not a way to live, Nicola. You know what I mean? It's like constant chaos, constant anxiety, constant fear, constant resentment, constant anger, constant panic is not a way to be. You're in pain. And sometimes we're so used to that pain that we don't even recognize it as pain. And with you, I feel that a lot. I feel like you're not aware of the amount of pain that you're in. I think you have some kind of understanding, but I don't think you really understand how painful it is for you. And I really suggest that you just start doing the healing, not giving this person the time of the day. Yeah, and not giving people who treat you like shit the time of the day. And being open to the people who actually treat you well. It's a hard one when all you've known is abuse, because then you start abusing yourself, because again, that to you is love. It's a hard one for some people to understand. I get it. I was a pro at that one until I met my husband. And then, it's like, it's just so amazing to be loved, for somebody to actually to give a shit about you and to actually prioritize you and to actually want your well-being. Now, he's not perfect, making that very clear, but it's just an incredible shift. And you deserve that too, Nicola. So the other thing that I'm hearing here is material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. So what I'm hearing here, Nicola, is that the very things that you've been asking for, my friend, that financial abundance, that shift in your life, it's not just to do with your relationships and with this ex. It's to do with everything in your life. So what I'm hearing here is when you can really detox and heal this and start new chapters, not just your relationships get better, but your life gets better in many other ways. So this is much bigger than just your ex. This is much bigger than maybe is this not or not, because if you don't allow certain type of love in, you might not even allow abundance in. But if you want to just stay friends, then just stay friends with him. But it still doesn't mean that you can't still receive love. You know what I mean? And if you already know this, then you don't need me. But what you do need me to tell you is that you are in pain, you're still connected to your ex, and you need to let that go if you're ready to move on. For some reason, some of us have a hard time letting go of relationships, because deep down, there is really a fear of letting go of people, of being lonely or whatever it is. And we tell ourselves that we're cool, we're fine. But there is so much wounding underneath it that we have no awareness of what's really going on. And this is why, again, the detoxing, Nicola, the shifting, and being open to good people coming into your life. There's so many people that have been good for me throughout my life that I rejected because I was so wounded. And I wish I would have let them in more, because they would have been really good people to me. But I always let the nasty people in, because that's what I resonated with. And then you end up getting abused again, and you wonder why. He's getting the message though. But Nicola, sometimes it's just telling people, don't even play games with people. I mean, oftentimes when we're trying to be nice, what we're really doing is we're trying to avoid confrontation. Sometimes just telling the person, one thing I was really good at is oh, you can't hear me. I'm not sure what to do about that, my love. It might be your reception. But oftentimes what I would, I was very good at rejecting people kindly, and just kind of say, look, you're amazing. I like you. Thank you so much. But I just don't feel that type of connection right now. And that's okay to say that. But also don't allow it to go for too long either, because then you're just stringing people along for some reason. I'm sorry, Nicola, you might want to then maybe come in and out again. I think, as far as I know, I think everybody else can hear me just fine on this end. I have full reception on my end, so it might be your reception, my love. Yeah, Dita said that they can hear me. So I gotta be honest, my love, Nicola, says you gotta be careful, because sometimes, we think that I will hear first, heal, he's be told, I only do friends. Yeah, but you gotta let him know that as well, because then it's not fair. You see, then you're stringing him along, and then he's the nice guy that's taken advantage of, and we don't want that either. We gotta do the right thing by other people too, Nicola. Do you know what I mean? And when you do the right thing by others, oh, you have told him. Well, good, then that's it. Just focus on healing your past, my love. Just focus on healing this old relationship. Do some chakra balancing, some cleansing. Do some self-awareness exercises, because this is really going to help you. But remember, when you heal all this stuff from your past, so much is going to change in your future. Your business, your life, Well, if somebody doesn't get it, then we're either not saying it the right way, or they're just, well, sometimes we just have to be blunt at some point then. If he's not getting it, then you just have to be blunt. At some point, then he's disrespecting your boundaries, right? So I'm pretty sure if you say no and fuck off, the person's going to get it at some point. You know what I mean? Even the nice guy, I'm like, bro, you're nice, but I told you no like 7 times. At like some point, I don't know how else I'm going to say it. Esmeralda, she's like cracking up. It's true though, right? It's like, yo, I've been nice. Now fuck off. You know, it's like, what else am I going to tell you? Okay, Nicola, so did that help you a little bit? I know it's a lot, and I know you've got a fast mind, but I just want you to understand, focus. Exactly, yes. So I got to move on, Nicola, but do you have any more questions before we move forward, or do you feel like you understand? So just focus on healing any attachments right now, okay? Can confirm sometimes us dudes get tunnel vision. So tell me, Tim, if a girl tells you to fuck off, though, do you think that would be tunnel vision still, considered as tunnel vision? Yes. Amazing, Nicola. Listen, you got this, girl, okay? You're a lot stronger. You've been through a lot, I know. And focus on you. Focus on getting the healing. And I know, love, but independence isn't always a good thing. Independence means that you sometimes have to carry a lot more on your own. So I would just change that into, I'm somebody with strong boundaries. On me, I worry about others but forget about myself. Yeah, Max, that's also like something, it's an admirable thing, but oftentimes that ends up being too much for one person to handle. Yes, Nicola, the super vigilant thing though is also like trauma response, right? Healing can be a long, slow process. Be patient with it. Sending you warm thoughts. Oh, that's so sweet, Lonely. I love that. Absolutely, and I love that. It's a process, Nicola, and she's absolutely right. Don't expect yourself to have the answers by tomorrow, okay? You got this. All right, Esmeralda, you're next. If you tell him you're not interested in anything any more than friends, and they keep pressing for more, wait, I want to read this. Then how nice is that person really? Nailed it, Nikisha. She's on it. And then that's manipulation. Thank you, Tim. I got you down. Okay. This has been a tough year. I'm just wanting to see if there's any sense of direction and what should it be looking forward to in 2026. All right, Esmeralda, do you know your number for this year? Oh, hey, Bill. Welcome, my friend. So just give me the month and the date that you were born. I just want to check your numerology just so I have an idea. Is 2026 that's in 1 year next year. Okay, so you go to 3 and 6 9. Yeah, so it's a 9 for you. 3 6 7 8 9. Yes, so it's a 9 year for you. 9 year is ending year, completion year. Oftentimes it feels like a lot of things are just ending and moving on, which is ironically because I feel like the other girl should have had a 9. Oh, Bill, we all don't know how this works. No, I'm joking. So essentially what's happening right now is that people have given donations, so I'm giving them all of their readings. But if you don't give a donation, that's not a problem at all. Just hang around, although these readings tend to go for a while. And then I'll take questions, but you are here for a reason. Oftentimes, people just hang out and chill because sometimes what I say to other people resonates with them. So whichever way, but right now I've got Tim in line after Esmeralda, and then I'm open for questions or for more donations. That's how it works. And usually I do a group reading at the beginning, so next time you join. Okay, Esmeralda, so I'm with you. Sorry, my love. So let me just double check. And what you should be looking forward to. So the good news is, my love, is the next year is a 1 year for you. Okay, so a 1 year is a new beginnings year. Okay, so it's the building, the start of something new. Use these ones. Come here. And then, ooh, my cards want to come out. Okay, so let's see what they have to say. Don't fight, you guys. Nice. All right, no fighting. I got hamsters fighting in the background. So my mind, for some reason, I pictured WWE hamsters. You know, like wrestling in the background with like the little bandanas. My imagination just went wild. Hamster war. All right, we're almost there. Oh, okay, relax. Jeez Louise. So a lot of the times, by the way, guys, being a 9 year, it does also mean a year of endings for a lot of people in general, energetically. So a lot of us, and one of the things that also Teal Swan was saying as well, it's like a curveball. A lot of us received a lot of curveballs this year, like a surprise. It's like you weren't expecting that, but here you go, kind of thing. And so some of us just suddenly had to shift or move certain things. Got you down, Dita. Thank you so much. So let's see, guys, 1 second. All right, I was about to literally give up. I was like, all right, maybe this is not, they don't want to tank anymore. And these cards wanted to come out. Anything else? Oh, yep, okay. Nice. That one flew out. Okay. I wish you guys could be in my head. Because one of the cards that came out was like hello from heaven, and all I heard was like hello from the other side. Okay, I'm not gonna destroy you guys. Okay, so Leprechaun. Aw, Australia, love it. Where from, my love? Yes, it was such a good song. Okay, so you got the leprechauns. Okay, so this is a very good sign, Esmeralda. Okay, leprechauns is a sign of good luck. Okay, I know things haven't been going that great for you this year, but your luck is about to turn, okay? Things are about to shift. And I just want to double check. Okay, just looking forward to it. I just want to make sure I get your question. So, here's the thing. The leprechauns are here to bring you fortune and luck. This is a sign that luck is on your side and opportunities are opening up for you. Follow the rainbow, trust the journey, and take an inspired action towards your dreams. Your pot of gold awaits, but first, it's up to you to manifest it. Stay positive, believe in your magic, and let the energy of abundance flow into your life, okay? Queensland, love it. Well, welcome. I used to live in Sydney. So what this means is essentially that, again, it's kind of very similar to what I was saying before. It's like sometimes when things don't go our way, it's like we're emptying out certain energies. We're resetting energies. We're reprogramming belief system. We're reprogramming energies, right? So it's like it feels like we're missing out. It feels like we're losing things. But essentially we're cleansing out, creating a new slate. And now you're in a place where you are ready to manifest, okay? So again, don't focus so much on what's happening on the outside. Focus on what's going on the inside with you, which is what do you want to manifest? What do you want to create? And the thoughts that you are having right now, are you so focused on everything that went bad, or are you starting to shift your energy into what could possibly be? So focusing on the pot of gold, right? It's like that rainbow shooting out, and it's like, all right, I'm on this trajectory and that's my goal. So give yourself a goal. Give yourself something to focus on, Esmeralda. Because obviously Sometimes when we don't give ourselves a goal or a manifestation or something, we're kind of just like lost and we don't get motivation. We feel a little bit deflated. We just kind of like, well, what's the fucking point? But when we give ourselves a goal, at least it gives us some kind of direction and it gives us some kind of energy to move forward towards something. The other card that you got is the shapeshifters. The shapeshifters are asking you to embrace adaptability. This situation requires you to be more flexible, open-minded, and willing to shift your perspective. There may be a need for compromise, finding a balance where all involved can benefit. By flowing with the changes instead of resisting them, you can discover new opportunities and solutions that create a win-win outcome. Trust in your ability to adjust and transform how is needed. So, things happen for a reason, okay, Esmeralda. So I really feel like with you as well, a lot of the things didn't work out because you need to be a little bit more flexible and you need to get out of your comfort zone. Comfort zone is going to come up twice here. I feel like you were very set in your ways a little bit, maybe in thinking or maybe in habits. And we think that that's a way to keep us safe, but oftentimes that's just a trap. And what ends up happening is that, hello, surprise, things change. And then people who are very much like routine based and need that thing that they know how their day is going to go are the people who struggle the most to allow change happening, and the people who suffer the most. So what it's hearing here is that essentially it's like you gotta embrace the fact that one thing is for sure in this planet is that change is inevitable. One of the things as humans we have to adapt always and consistently. If we think that things are always going to go one way, it's never going to work out that way. And I always like to use the example of my mom. My mom is somebody who's not very flexible. She does not like change. She does not like anything outside of her little bubble, her controlled environment. And so when things which of course happened, she like lost her job like 2 years ago or whatever. And like, of course she flipped out because it's like, you know, her whole like plan and control thing didn't plan out. And of course, I mean, she's fine now, but like it threw her off. And it's like oftentimes people see it as a curse, but what ended up happening, it allowed her to evolve and adapt and fight for herself and do things that she normally wouldn't do. My mom always ends up in these situations because of this issue that she has, because she's not adaptable. So again, I'm not saying that you might be as extreme as her, but oftentimes there are things within us that are like that. We all have that. So these things happen because they're trying to move you outside of an energy. They're trying to push you in a certain direction. Think of something that maybe happened to you many, many years ago that felt like a curse, but ended up being like the greatest gift you've ever had. I think everybody here can think of something like that. And so this is one of those situations. I know you've had a really tough year and it might not make sense to you right now, but it's going to make sense later on as to why things happened the way that they did. Next card that you got is the Star Fairies. Literally, it's about everything that I just said. So the Star Fairies are encouraging you to step out of your comfort zone and embrace new experiences, especially those that challenge you. Growth happens when we dare to explore the unknown. Trust that the universe is guiding you towards expansion. This is your time to discover new worlds and unlock your truest potential. So again, all of this happened because they want you to grow. They want you to expand. And when we think of growth, we think financial growth, easy, high, yes, pleasurable. No. Financial growth means, ow, suffering, fell down. Ooh, ouch, okay, got back up. Ooh, okay, I got slapped, got hit by a truck. Just get back up with crutches, keep going forward. That's what really growth is like. It's painful. Think about it, like, even when you're a teenager, when you had like growth spurts, you know, and you're like, oh, ow, everything hurt. That's what it's like. So our ideas as humans is like growth is like a good thing and we're just going this way. It's like, no. The times that we grow the most is oftentimes when we fail, when we fuck up, when things don't go our way, when everything just becomes difficult, when we suffer. That's when we oftentimes grow. Or plan B, which is what I recommend people to do, put yourself in a situation where it's uncomfortable as opposed to the universe coming at you and pushing you out of the way. You put yourself in the line of fire and it's a lot less comfortable, less painful, Example, you know, I always say choose your hard, right? So if you want to grow your business, it's painful. But if you want to be broke, it's painful. Choose your hard, you know. But again, you know, if we choose the one where we just surrender and let things happen, oftentimes then we get pushed, and that's even more painful in my opinion. I rather do the work And then it's still painful, it still sucks, but at least I will get there quicker, or at least I've learned a lot more and I put myself into it as a choice as opposed to feeling like the victim. Sorry, the hamster was running and the timing was funny. Okay, so I do have a plan for you though, Esmeralda. So one of the things that they're saying here is crystal clear intentions. Again, like I said before, have a goal, okay? What I'm hearing here right now, this guy, I have this hamster, buddy, no, he is hilarious. All he wants to do is be out of his cage, and he climbs up. Anyway, he's being spider monkey right now. They want you to start setting goals, okay? Hey, Catherine, good to see you. So they want you to have crystal clear intentions, okay? So stop focusing on the things that didn't work out, the things that went against you. Alchemize that energy. Use that pain, that suffering, that frustration, that inability to feel like you could do anything about it, and turn it into something. Because I feel like for you, when you do that, your life is going to change, and suddenly you're going to be like, holy shit, this whole time, that's all I had to do. Sounds easier than done, of course, because it's going to take work and stuff. But be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So it's just like, all right, I got nothing to lose anyway, so I might as well just say, all right, I'm going to build a new business, or I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to become vegan, or I am going to start a school for children in Africa. I don't know, whatever it is your thing, right? But that's what they're saying is like, give yourself a goal, give yourself a vision, give yourself something to fight for that's greater than the suffering and the pain that you're going through. Finn, stop it. Brilliant idea. Yes, your idea is a divinely guided. Please take action and bring your idea to fruition. So they want you, and I think you already have an idea. I think you already know what that could possibly be. Or trust that the idea is going to come to you, because this is something that they want you to have. This is something that you're meant to do. It's like part of your blueprint. And hello from heaven. You loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. So again, I feel like this is more about your spiritual team, but it could also be, that's amazing. But Esmeralda, that's normal with businesses. It's hard. So hard to build a business, but keep going, keep pushing through, you know what I mean? And like keep growing and just keep, fuck it, you know, it's like, all right, I'm gonna keep going no matter what. I'm not giving up. You know, I've been like that with my business as well. There's some days you're just like, ugh, but then I'm just like, well, I'd be doing this anyway, so here we are. But you're going to get ideas and you're going to get downloads. So again, what I'm hearing here is like, be careful of where you put your energy and your focus, right? An abundant mindset. Esmeralda, who's already making $100,000 a month, thinks very differently and vibrates very differently from the Esmeralda who's struggling right now, right? And so when you shift that identity, start thinking from this place, from that reality, quantum leaping again. Again, easier said than done, but they want you to do practices, and they want you to do the pot of gold kind of thing, because oftentimes when we think, okay, we've had a really hard year, but maybe this year was for you just to clear out all the shit, so that when you're ready to thrive, you've done the work, the heavy work as well. You've got to remember this as well. Sometimes we don't understand how or why, but it's all designed for something. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to say here is that you're going to get some downloads, you're going to get some ideas, but again, just be careful where you're focusing your energy, whether it's in lack or whether it's in abundance, okay? So just do like a daily like reminder or something to just remind yourself as like, today I choose to be in abundance. Today I choose to, you know, focus on my vision or on my goal, or make a new one. And that's going to help you a lot more, okay? By the way, I realized since I've been doing this new online course, I realize I say okay every 2 minutes, and it pisses me off, but I can't do anything about it. I'm like, okay. Now that I've said it, you're all gonna notice it. Monkey, no. You're welcome. All right, Tim, you're next, and then I've got Dida. Buddy, can you stop? You went out for 2 hours before. don't know if I can let him out. All right, Tim, you still there? You're like on crack, buddy. Should I make time to visit home more than once this next month, or should I keep focusing on myself? Okay. Annie Latta, hello, welcome. Welcome, my friends. Sorry, I'm laughing at my hamster. He's such a character. Beyond Christmas, it's my mom's birthday and one of my best friend's birthday too. The holidays have traditionally been stressful for me in the past. Got it. Well, I mean, it's one of those things, Tim, with my family. The way I look at it is like, am I going to regret it if I do go? Because it's traumatic for me to go see my family. So I'm like, if I'm going to go, because I have to get on a plane and all that sort of stuff, which I really don't like either. But I'm like, am I going to regret not seeing them? Am I going to look back and go, wish that I actually put the effort in or not? That's how I make my decisions. Because if the answer is yes, then sometimes I just do it. But sometimes the answer is like, no. My well-being and my health is more important right now, my mental health, and too bad, because if I'm not in a good place, I am certainly not going to go and see my family. There's just no effing way, because it's like I was damaged before and now I'm really damaged after going to see them, because it never does any good for me. It's like it takes a lot of work. So I think one of the questions that you should ask yourself is like, where am I at right now? Am I strong enough? Am I in a good place to go and see them? Because if the answer is no, then just see them once and that should be enough. Don't use guilt as a motivator, because you're just as important as your family and you have to remember that as well. Does that make sense? But because a lot of times we don't know how to love ourselves, we prioritize other people before ourselves. And you, Max, I was waiting for you to message that because I knew you were going to say that. I love Oracle cards. I would like to pull a card off Yeah, absolutely, Annie. So right now I have Tim and Dita who've given donations. So when people give donations, essentially I'm just giving them a longer reading. But if you hang around, once I get through them, I'm happy to pull a card for you as well. So whatever you want to do, my love. So, yeah, so Tim, what I'm getting right now is like the lovers. So I feel like one of the things that with you it's coming up, I don't know if you're in a relationship or not, or you're trying to manifest a relationship, but that's something that's very much on your mind. Love, the word love, or needing love, or wanting love, or wanting to feel loved is like a big thing for you. Maybe because you didn't feel it much for some reason growing up, or there's something there. So there is this real deep desire for love, which is, by the way, what we all want deep down. Except for me, I want money. No, I'm kidding. I do want money though. So the love here, again, it's one of those things that in order to manifest it, you got to start giving it to yourself first. And so going back to what you were saying with your family is like, oh, thank you, Sue. Nice to see you again. Peanuts with his mother, with his grandma. He's happy running around. So what I'm hearing here is that this is all, Tim, for you, lessons about love, loving yourself, what love is, right? So again, like I said before, it's just one of those things like check in with yourself, and it's like, am I going to regret? Because you said you're going once, right? But you want to go back twice. Why do you feel the need to go back twice? Maybe because you can't see them both at the same time, or you feel like you can't give them enough time. I've been trying to manifest love this year and I've had mixed results. The last girl I dated put me in a whirlwind and I deleted and all dating apps for the last month to focus on me. I'm going a Friendsgiving with a friend with salsa dancing class. That's amazing. Yeah, but again, when we start learning our boundaries, learning to love ourselves, learning what is right for us, what is wrong for us, that's when we become really attractive to other people as well. And so I think this is all correlated, because this card wouldn't have come up for no reason, but also I do think that you're manifesting a love relationship. I think that is coming in for you as well. And this is all related. So wisdom and objectivity is important right now. Stay in your integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication with yourself. Again, ask yourself the hard questions. You know, this is where you got to be honest with yourself. It's like, all right, if I go and see them and I do that, see everybody and do the thing for them, at what point am I giving myself something to? So again, it doesn't just have to be them or me or that or this. It can be both. It can be a win-win for everybody. When I go and see my family, I'm not just doing it for them. I'm doing it for myself so I don't feel guilty. Okay? There's a selfishness behind that, because if I just do it for them, I'm going to be angry, resentful, pissed off. We're going to fight. It's just not going to go well. Okay? So, see, I said the okay again. I hate that. I've got one grandma still with us, so I do try to visit home when I can. And I have a lot of friends and family back home. I never can make time for everyone in a single week. It's definitely a combo guild-based things, but also I know I'll feel better if I go at least once. Okay, so again, the compromise. But here's the thing. Why can't you see everybody at once? Can you invite them to come and see you for a change as opposed to you going to meet everybody else? Is there a way for you maybe to organize a get-together and say, hey guys, I'm coming down. I would love to see everybody. I'm going to have a one-day party where everybody gets the chance to come and see me. You see, there are alternatives to this. I don't know where they all live or whatever, but that's an option, right? You can invite them so that everybody can gather at the same time, or at least different groups, and you can try to make it to see everybody. And maybe it's even better that way, so you're not too focused on one group, because sometimes that can also bring up like tension after a while. So all I'm saying is be a little bit more adaptable, Tim, and think a little bit more outside the box of how you used to do things, because that old version of you is no longer here. There's a healed version of you that's moving into this, and how would he handle this situation? And what I love is like dreams do come true, make a wish. So you're in a place where you have the power. Hey, Bradley, you have the power to change the outcome of your past. Just because that's how you did things doesn't mean that you should still continue to do them the same way. Fiona, hi, welcome. So essentially right now I'm going through people who have given donations. So I have 2 people that I'm giving a reading for right now. But I will, if you hang around, sorry, I'm distracted. If you hang around and you ask a question later, I will answer your question. I'll pick a card for you. No problem. So I do see family celebration, get together, all that sort of stuff. I do see you going, okay, for sure. So reasons to celebrate, a community of friends, happy announcements regarding relationships or children. So you're definitely going. But again, be smart about how you do things. Things outside the box, Tim. And this time, like, again, I think sometimes when we don't believe that and this is something that I really struggled with. I hate organizing birthday parties for me, get-togethers. I have severe trauma around that, and I'm always worried that people are not going to show up, because when I was 10 nobody showed up to my birthday, and for some reason ever since then I've been traumatized by that. So I try not to do any gatherings, because for me it doesn't work, but I will put the option out there as long as I'm not attached to the outcome. That's true. Being adaptable is something I struggle with on my family matters. Exactly. I'm usually creative. Organizing gathering sounds like a simple, but I didn't consider it. Now you did, Tim. That's why you came to me. So try that. So then you don't have to sacrifice yourself to fulfill everybody else's fucking needs. It could be a win-win. Okay? So always look for the win-win. And oftentimes that you're not going to feel guilty, because you're like, I gave you the option. You didn't show up. You know what I mean? So, and finally, Tim, your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. So no matter what, listen, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. You're going to do the right thing for you. You're going to do the right thing for everybody else. But again, adapt your mechanisms with your family, because we fall into this loop and we repeat things over and over again, thinking somehow a new outcome is going to happen. It's not. Start thinking from Tim, who is healed, who is loved, who is happy. Not from Tim, who is broken, who is suffering, who is sad, whatever the story is, right? So, and handsome, obviously. So, you see what I mean? So try that tactic. Just put it out there. Just see if it works out. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But at least you tried something different and you tried something new. And it's also a little bit more exciting, right? Because you're changing the frequency. You're changing the relationships. You're in power right now. You're not putting it up to them. You're choosing what's right for you and for them. Make sense? And then they can respond however they want. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey. I need help. So does that help you? That resonates a lot. The perspective. I thought it said the perspective shit. The perspective shift already gives it better energy thinking about my options now. Amazing, Tim. You got this. So take some time to think outside the box and ask for people what they would do as well. Sometimes, like people who are good in relationships, don't go to the person who's obviously damaged for advice. Go to the person who's great socially, who knows how to manage their time well. Like go and ask them what they would do. You know what I mean as well? Because it's always good to get like different perspectives because they think differently. And so they give you ideas and you're like, never thought of that. That makes sense. Easy. And suddenly something that was so difficult and such a weight becomes like an easy solution. All right, my friend, sending you love. I know you got this. And then come back and tell me how it went. But don't blame me if it went bad. You're welcome. Dida, what's your question? So many things happening in my family, friends, and career. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one too, Nikisha, for 2 days, 2 different days. Yeah. I mean, if you're going there for like a week, that's plenty of time, you know. Especially if you know that certain groups of people don't get along. That can also be a thing because I have such a diverse group of friends that like when you put them together, it's like weird. So, yeah. And I also have like, yeah, definitely. Stop fighting, you guys. Okay, let's see. So, Dida, I'm reading your message and I'm just connecting to you now. So first and foremost, one of the things that came up immediately is like, why do you feel that you have to manage everything? I know that obviously like you care about people, right? And you want things to go right. But sometimes when we have the rescue mentality, we think that we're the only one who can fix things. And oftentimes everybody come to us for advice or for how to do this, how to do that. But the truth of the matter is it's not your responsibility what other people do. And a lot of healers, for instance, have to learn this lesson. Boundaries is one a big one. But I used to have this with my family where I felt like I was the only one who could fix the family because I had all this information, right? Problem is, no one valued my opinion. No one cared about my opinion because they were too self-absorbed. And so it's almost like no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you could be freaking Jesus reincarnated and give them the best advice that they've ever had in their entire life and bless them with the light of the Lord. And they're still going to walk into a fucking wall and smash their head. Okay? So super frustrating, but that's one of the biggest lessons that I ever had to learn. It's like, I now only give advice to people who come to me, and also because I'm a projector, that's one thing. Yeah, you see, Dita. So what I'm hearing here is that you're taking on a role that you are, of course, doing because you have a gift. And this is a beautiful gift, by the way. What is it? The Birkin story. For those of you who've heard the Birkin story, you know this one. Your gift, this is, by the way, not my saying. This is Leo Seppi. If you ever heard of him, he's fun. Your gift is like a Birkin bag. If you don't know what a Birkin bag is, these bags are worth anywhere between $50,000 to $1 million, okay? Now, if I give the Birkin bag to a crackhead, what do you think's going to happen? They don't understand the value of the bag. They don't know what that bag is, and they're going to trash it. They're going to throw it. They're going to trash it. They're going to destroy it. But if I give the Birkin bag to somebody who values that bag, who knows what that is, which means your gifts, they're going to treat it with respect, with value. They're going to really be grateful and appreciate it. So your gifts are a Birkin bag and your friends are crackheads. No, I'm joking. So what I'm saying is you just got to be careful who you give your gifts to, who you're sharing your information to. My mom, I love her, and sometimes she listens to me, but I only tell her advice when I feel like it's right and when she's really listening. But sometimes she comes to me because she, or anybody really from my family comes to me for advice, and I don't give advice anymore because it's wasted energy for me, because at the end of the day, they're not going to do anything with it. So all I do is just listen. All I do is just listen. That's it. Because there's nothing I can say that's going to change their choices. Thank you, Rhiannon. I got you down. So, okay, give me 1 second. I'm not really getting much of this. So what I'm hearing here as well, Dita, is that you have really an opportunity to be an inspiration to people. But again, what I'm hearing here is like you got to be careful where you give your energy, Yeah, they are responsible. Exactly. And because, listen, and it's a very hard thing because I can feel that with your energy because you can see their potential. Tell them the opposite of what you think they need to hear. That's a good one. Reverse psychology. So, oops, there we go. Nice. Ooh. Oh, I love this. Okay. So, when we have this gift, okay, which is the gift of knowledge, you probably have the gift of understanding, of knowledge. You can see things, you see people's potential. Beautiful gift. But again, if you give it to the wrong person, they'll abuse it, they'll trash it. And you're giving a gift, you're giving energy. And by the end of this, you're going to be drained, overwhelmed, and literally feel abused sometimes. Because you know what you have to give. And then sometimes you feel gaslit because you're like, I'm giving you this fucking wisdom. I'm giving you information that is so precious. But no one is seeing it. So am I just tripping balls? Am I just like delusional that this is actually the answer? And so then you start questioning yourself. And it's not good. It's not healthy for you, okay? So what I'm hearing here is that you got to start first and foremost believing in your gifts and believing in yourself and really see it for what it is, Dita, that you do have a very special gift. And not everybody deserves this gift. You're Birkin. Not everybody deserves the wisdom, the time, the grace that you have. On top of that, when you see them, do you feel drained or do you feel like you've given something? Because part of us need to be of service, right? So we're like, oh, of course, first person shows up will be of service. They have to be worthy though too. Because some people are just there to eat your energy, honestly. And they don't mean to do it. They're not doing it on purpose. Their intention might be really good. But so what I'm hearing here, there's a couple of very important things that are coming up. So one of them is the tree spirits urge you to seek wise counsel at this time. This may also be a signal that a wise individual will appear to offer you guidance in your situation. Stay open and receptive, allowing the wisdom to find its way to you. Just as a tree grows tall with time and patience, so too will insights you need to navigate this moment. So what I'm hearing here is I feel like you really need to start studying and learning as to how you can be of greater service to these people. And sometimes it's not giving advice. Sometimes it's literally just listening, because then they can start hearing themselves talk. I'll give you an example. When I first met my husband, I still had bad programming from previous relationships where I like to fight. I'm half Italian, half Brazilian, okay? So at one point I was like getting mad at him and arguing, and he would not answer. And at one point I was realizing I was just fighting myself, and I was like, well, I don't need to yell anymore because what's the point? So this is the time for you to receive some of the wisdom and guidance. And of course you're asking me right now, but what I'm saying is go and seek it out from books, from podcasts, from other people who have had the same issue as you, because that's really going to help you to see what they did. Easier said than done, of course. Now, the next thing that you got is the fire spirits. The fire spirits are here to ignite a change within you. This situation has reached its limit, and it's time, and it may be time to move on. Be mindful of intense emotion. Use them as fuel to propel you forward, not to destroy. Channel that fiery energy within you to create transformation and growth, allowing the flame to guide you towards new possibilities. So what I'm hearing here is that essentially, Dita, you keep repeating the cycle, okay? You're stuck in this cycle where you're like wanting to help, and then you give advice, they don't listen, whatever, and then you're just back in this cycle. It's like, I don't know what to do. Nothing seems to change. You need to change. You're the one who needs to change, not them. You need to change your approach to them. You need to change how you receive the information and how you give advice. It's not going to change. People don't change. The only way that you can change a relationship is by changing yourself. When I change my reaction to you, you have no other choice but to change your response to me. But if I keep coming back to you the same way, you're going to respond the same exact way. So starting to think about ways how I can change. Maybe usually when I give advice, I'm not going to say anything. Or maybe when I'm going to tell you to go left, this time I'm going to tell you to go right. Or I'm going to tell you is like, I don't have time today. Schedule a time for me to give you, because you got to protect yourself as well, and you got to prioritize yourself. Again, once you understand the value of your gift, you're not going to give it away. Okay. How about your career? Okay, we can look into that quickly. And then the next thing that came up as well, just so you know, it's like the incarnated cherubs. So reflection here, Dita. So when this card comes up as well, it's all about understanding that sometimes we're more in love with the idea of something than the reality of something. So sometimes we're more in love with the idea, for instance, of being the helper, but not understanding what that really means or entails. So I'm going to give you one card for your career. Let's see what comes up. Nice. Okay, so you got the elves. Okay. The elves are encouraging you to become more aware of your skills and potential. As masters of craftsmanship and precision, they remind you that dedication and practice lead to mastery. It's time to step up, refine your abilities, and push yourself to grow. Commit to excellence in whatever you do and watch your efforts transform into something truly remarkable. So again, this is another thing that I want to say, and that might be even related to what's going on, is like when we give our energy to other people, guess what happens? We don't have as much energy for ourselves. So what I'm hearing here for your career is that you need to refine everything. So, and I'm not saying that you don't work hard or anything like that, by the way. But what it means is like whatever you want to do, whatever you want to go. So think of like the elves as like they're perfectionists in everything that they do. They do it to the best, to the top, to the greatest. So it's almost like mentally for you as well, career-wise, whatever it is that you want to do, stepping up that intention. I am stepping to hard step. So whatever it is, begin to think yourself as mastering that very thing, becoming an expert, becoming a master at it. And that's how you can elevate your frequency and draw more money in and, out of your comfort zone 100%, because you have to develop new skills, right? So when you become a master, you're always learning, you're always growing, you're always evolving. But just be careful as well of like not being too hard on yourself either, where it's like nothing's ever good enough and I cannot, part of the journey is also being proud of yourself, of the steps that you've made, and celebrating the steps that you've made forward. Does that make sense? So it's a balance of both, stretching but also being proud, because when you're not proud, then you don't appreciate it. And if gratitude is not in the frequency, well, then there's an energy of lack. You want to be in an energy of abundance. Does that make sense, Dita? Okay, so any more questions before we move on? Oh, you're welcome. Best of luck. Okay, and then I've got Rhiannon. Hi. What's your question, my love? Do you have a question? So your name Rhiannon, I'm thinking about Rihanna. For some reason, like work, 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 work. Do me, work, 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 work. I'd like guidance on if I should move and change careers. Ooh, okay. Okay. Let's see what comes up. Ooh, interesting. That card went over there. Over there. Career change. Ooh. That was a zap. All right. Let's see. That flew out. Hey, piggies. What you doing, Iggy? The Builder. Bob the Builder. Okay, I'm gonna stop. My brain. Oh, my brain. Yeah. They definitely are saying it's a good idea to do that. I'm gonna get a little bit more cards, but just you kind of gotten. And then I know I got to zap over this one, so let's just see if they have any more to say. So you two got the elves. This one flew out as well. It's the same card, but essentially becoming a master at something. But then you also got outdoors. One second, I just want to get another message before we move forward because I can go on a tangent and then. Oh. All right, I will accept these 4 cards. Okay. So, building as well. This can also mean building something, okay? Starting something new or building something from scratch or becoming a master at something. So I do feel like there's the desire there. 4 is also the number of the foundation of something new. So building something so that it has a stronger foundation. Then you got the Aladdin genies. The Aladdin genies are here to tell you that it's time for travel, change, and adventure has arrived. They urge you to step out into the world, explore new places, and embrace the unknown. Magic awaits those who dare to discover, so follow your curiosity and let the journey begin. So whether this is your desire or whether they're encouraging you to do that, essentially it seems that there is something there that you're ready for some kind of a change. I feel like you've gotten kind of maybe bored or just like into that monotonous cycle, and you want some excitement in your life, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the desire is definitely there. So it's up to you, obviously, whether you want to make that change or not. But what I like about this card is says that magic happens for those who follow their heart. So if you do decide to make that change, Rhiannon, what I'm hearing is that there's going to be very cool things happening along the way for you. It's like excitement and adventure and things that you probably weren't expecting. And so it's going to give you that excitement that possibly, I think, in your heart, you've really been yearning for. The next one is we got the Swamp People. The Swamp People come forward to guide you in seeing beyond the surface. You may be projecting your own fears or desires, clouding your true perception of the situation or someone. This card reminds you to judge by the actions and not the words. It also calls for a deeper connection with your tribe or chosen family. No, swamp, like in the swamps. They're in the swamp. Swamp people. It's literally a realm. So, Tracy Marie, thank you so much for the message. Oh, I see it. Yep, just give me 1 second. I'll finish you might want to copy and paste that just in case it goes too further down and then I can't read it again. So I'll be with you in a second. So what this means essentially, Rhiannon, is like, are you being told and promised maybe things in your job, but you're not seeing the results? That's one thing that I'm hearing. Sometimes it's like we stay in something because we're told that this is where we're going to go, or we've been promised this and this and that, and then nothing happens. And then you feel like you're stuck. So one of the reasons why the Swamp People card comes up is literally about that. Is like, judge people by their action, not their words. The second thing as well, it's about projection. So we're projecting, like we judge the Swamp People because they're hillbillies, really. So we judge a book by its cover. So sometimes, you know, we might be projecting our fears or our judgment onto things, but you know, it's like you see a picture of a book, the cover is ugly, but then you read it, it could be the greatest thing ever. That's the idea behind this. So are you making judgments, or are you projecting your fears into things without really knowing until you really read it or go through with it? So just ask yourself these questions to help you out. Now, a couple of things that I got here to help you out. One of them is nature and creative writing. So these are steps that essentially I'm hearing to help you process this for yourself. So be out in nature. One of the things that I'm getting, this is actually a fun thing to do. Oh, that's also true, Annie. That's true as well. You can have a beautiful cover and then the book sucks. That's also very true. So one of the things I'm hearing, so there's a connection to trees, guys. Trees are very, very wise, and trees do speak. Okay, so for those of you who, I don't know if you're energetically sensitive, Rhiannon, but this is something that you can do. Trees hold a lot of wisdom. So I've known of people who go out, get pen and paper and sit by a tree and literally either talk to the tree or just talk to your higher self or whatever, and they want you to do some creative writing here. Asking the questions, asking yourself the truth about what you want, or even just fuck it, what you get to lose, ask the freaking tree, who cares? So the first thing that you hear in your mind, you need to write it down. So write a question, listen, and then feel the answer and just write it. Doesn't matter if it feels like you're making it up, doesn't matter if it feels like it's woo-woo, who cares? The point is you're stretching out of your comfort zone and you're trying to access something outside of your boundaries, your reality, your realm. Then the other thing that I'm getting here is soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. Okay, so I don't know if there's maybe like a built up frustration here, or resentment, or there's like a built up something, but also with yourself. You know, it's like not knowing whether to go left or right, not knowing what to do. And it's just like, it's frustrating because you're like, why can't I just make up my mind? And why can't I just... So what I'm hearing is have a little bit more compassion, because when you soften your heart, then sometimes you can also hear the answers better. But when we get frustrated, then we're just reacting out of anger and fear and all these emotions. And also with the other people, they're just as blinded as we are sometimes. You are going to get information and downloads if you're open. So I do feel like you're going to get guidance from your spiritual team if you are open and you keep asking. And then relationship harmony. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. So I don't know if there's like some kind of conflict going on in your life that's also amplifying or affecting this, but this came up for some reason. The other thing that I heard as well, Rhiannon, is like, I love working with the angelic realm, but the thing with the angelic realm is very, very important is that you conflict with your boss. There you go. Within the angelic realm is that you need to give them permission to help you. So a lot of the people is like, please angels help me. No, it's like, hey Carla. So what we need to do is like say, I give you permission to help me with this situation. I need your help, and I give you full permission to help me with it. Give me signs, show me the way. When you give them, thank you Sammy, got you down. When you do this, then you start seeing signs and things like that. So I hopefully that made sense. I know it was like a lot of black, but I do feel like there's this desire for sure. If there's a lot of conflict in the work, at the end of the day, guys, if your work environment is really toxic, like, thank you, CG. The best thing that I can say, honestly, it's like, what is the point of, like, this is where you spend most of your time, right? If you're spending 8 hours a day in an environment where you're angry, frustrated, sad, pissed off, unless I'm getting paid like $1 million a day, I ain't gonna be there. For me now, it's just not worth my mental health. If it's a place that I enjoy and maybe I'm not getting paid that much, but I love it and I feel like I've got a purpose, then yeah, whatever, that works. But if you're miserable, you're spending 8 hours in that frequency. If you think that that does not affect your mental and well-being, you know, it does. And so is it worth the money that you're getting paid? At the end of the day, it comes down to that. And if you're not seeing yourself building up from there, you know, if you can't move on from this situation, you know, is it really worth it? I know it's scary to leave, but for me, it's like, I'm going to be okay. I'll figure it out, you know, somehow. There's always jobs out there. There's plenty of jobs out there. So maybe start looking into that. And if you need something to land on, just start looking at what's out there and at least opening that door and taking a peek through, because then if you find something, then jump into it. If not, then don't, but at least you've looked. All right, Rhiannon, did that help you? Hopefully. You're so welcome, my love. Amazing. All right, so now we have Tracy Marie. I know you sent me the message before, so hopefully I can still read the... Yes, I can. I love my... That fell down. I love my job. I love the company I work for, but my coworker completely drains and depletes me energetically. We travel for work frequently, and she depletes me every trip. Guidance. I love my job and company. I love, however, my coworker... I think you just wrote it twice. Okay. So immediately what I will tell you right now is that I do have a course on... Here we go. I'm going to pin it down below. I do recommend that you do this course, How to Shield from Entities and Low Vibrations. This course here, it's a 5-day course. It teaches you how to shield your energy from people as well. Not just like energies or entities. This can be applied to actual people on how to protect your energy. When we learn to shield, and again, some places and people, and depending on circumstances, of course, that we have our days, but when we learn how to shield, it's harder for people to take the energy from us. And a little reminder here as well, we don't realize this, but we are giving our energy away by accident. We are giving our power away, because nobody can take anything that isn't theirs. So just one thing there, but let me just tune into your energy. And then I'm going to need some water, guys. Give me 1 second. What you doing, piggies? I got a giant bottle of water. Oh, I usually have my little bottle, but... I never do have anything small, right? Giant coffee cup, giant bottle of water. Go big or go home, my friends. All right. I just get these cards. Piggies, oh, they still got time. They eat about 6:30. A water cooler. That's funny. It's actually for the animals. I use that as their because there's so many of them. I fill up their water bottles with it. But I don't want to go downstairs and get my bottle, so I'll drink theirs. Ooh, okay. Icky. Hey, I didn't get an itchy nose today. Normally I get such an itchy nose when I do these readings. It's taking a minute, Tracy. Anything else? There you go. It's funny. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I love this. All right. So, Tracy Marie, hopefully you're still here. I'm assuming you're listening. So, one of the things that is coming up here is that you got to honor your emotions first and foremost. So the water spirits are calling you to reconnect with your emotions. Are you holding back, hiding, or suppress how you truly feel? It's time to let yourself flow freely, feel deeply, and allow your emotions to guide you. There is a great strength in embracing your truth and being authentic in your feelings. Let the waters of healing and clarity wash over you. So what I'm hearing here is the reason why you're getting very drained is because you don't feel like you can be yourself. When you're constantly trying to be something that you're not, it takes so much fucking energy. And it could just be because maybe you don't feel safe around this person, or you feel like you need to fit into a certain mold to perform for a job, which a lot of us do feel that way. Again, you know, it is a job. But what I'm hearing here is that you're stepping so far away from your true emotions that it's so much work for you just to show up, and that's why you're getting drained. So it's time for you to allow yourself to start allowing yourself to feel what you feel and not be afraid of that. So if you feel frustrated, you don't have to like show frustration, but also not suppress the frustration that you're feeling either. It's just like, oh my God, I feel so frustrated. And not try to overcompensate with like, oh my God, everything is great. And yes, everything is fine. Okay, great. So that takes up so much energy, as opposed to going, I hear you, thank you so much, I gotta go and do stuff, but I'll be back, thank you. However, it's very different energy again. So I'm not using a lot of my energy, I'm setting strong boundaries, and I'm telling you how I feel through my emotions, but without being rude or disrespectful, as opposed to overcompensating by being overly nice and overly something. So ultimately what I'm hearing is that you don't have the possibility to be authentic, and that is essentially what is draining you the most. The other thing that I'm hearing also, not taking away, by the way, from this is what you can do. Now, the reason why you're not being authentic is because your environment is toxic. So you got the crystal witches, which is all about your environment. So whenever energy, so let me read it. The crystal witches understand the power of crystals and how when energy is channeled, so forget about the crystal, just think about energy in general, it can amplify, heal, and affect. Be aware of your environment and how the energies around you might be influencing you. Then make necessary changes to clear out anything that isn't in alignment with your space. So Tracy, when we're not being true to ourselves and we're in a toxic environment, we tolerate shit that we should not be tolerating. When we're in a toxic environment, we accept things that we should not be accepting. And again, we're constantly putting ourselves in an energy that is draining, whether it's a person or a situation. And it's hard because obviously it's your job, right? You feel like you have to, but there are things that you can do to stop yourself from being overly drained. So one of the things I told you is please do my course, because it's going to give you some tips and tools on how to shield your energy, how to prep before you go to work. This is something that I would do when I used to work in rehab. I'm very sensitive to entities and lower frequencies myself. And when I shield, I'm always walking away feeling more empowered as opposed to drained. Oh, nice, Annie. Now, the other thing that I need you to understand, Tracy Marie, is this. The Knights, you got the Knights, okay? The Knights Paladins are here to awaken the warrior spirit and remind you of your inner strength. You are being called to rise above the challenge with courage and resilience. This is not a time to see yourself as a victim, but as a warrior. Ready to face life head on. Trust in your power, stand tall in your truth, and know that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. The choice to rise is yours. So this card is all about taking your power back, and you can take your power back, Tracy Marie. So when we walk into these situations and we see ourselves as a victim, and you probably are, but if you continue to see yourself a victim, that's all you're ever going to be. Which means everybody has more power than me. The situation is too powerful. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh, well, I'm going to feel like shit all day. Not going to help. But if you can change your perspective and understand that there are things that you can do to shift this, and you can take your power back, and there is strength and power within you, and that essentially especially when it comes to energy, by the way, it's a little difficult because we don't see it, we don't feel it. It's more like a feeling more than anything else. But again, if you can walk into these situations knowing that there are things that you can do, such as the course that I just put below, so energy shielding, saying no when you mean no, not trying to overcompensate, these little things are going to make such a big difference that you're no longer, you might still be drained, but nowhere near the level that you were drained before. And so setting these strong boundaries, being true to your emotions, being authentic, and do the energetic work to shield yourself and walking in as a warrior and not as a victim, I promise you is going to change everything. And just reminding you that this person has no power over you. So I've had situations where I've been around people where I could feel my energy being sucked, and I'm like, nah. I would literally say it in my head is like, shield, stop. And I would say that in my mind, and I would visualize like an energetic shield coming in. And I would literally like have this like energetic battle with people. It's like, you're not taking my fucking energy, man. No. And then whatever I had to do to hold my frequency strong. So there are things that we can do, even though we don't see it. We just got to trust our intuition on that situation. So I hope that made sense, Tracy. I hope that helped. Okay, let me know. Sorry, Annie. I got you down, Annie. Love it. And you are right. Stop suppressing. Got it. Thank you. Warrior. Shilda. Oh, I love that, Tracy Marie. Badass. Yes. She's like, got it. Warrior. That's what I picture you doing. I swear to God, it's hilarious. You got this, okay? So, I got like Carla's cracking up. So, go and do the course, okay? Because it's really going to help you. Okay, so who's next? We got Sammy is next. And then I got CG, then I got Annie. I love it, you guys are cracking up. Like, even if you have to do that every day, just do that. I'm telling you. All right. Quack. Shiva energy. Ooh, I like that. We some badass bitch in here. Yeah, I have a lot of warrior energy, which I like, especially when I go to the gym. I'm like full-on Xena warrior princess in there. I'm grateful for that, you know. Sammy, is there an outlook on my love life? Have I gotten over my ex and that chaos? Well, only you know, but we'll find out. Exes. Some people just have this ability. Little munchkins. Pop, what are you doing? Sad. Little piggies. Warrior Queen. Thank you. I will take that. I can't fight with my nails now, though. I can't punch, but I can elbow. No. Karate chop is not going to do anything. Claws. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Sorry, I'm just making fun of myself now. I'm in my mind, I'm like Prime Minister style. I don't know why. Oh, my mind. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so Sammy, we got some good news. Whee! Okay. So the first thing that we got is manifestation. Okay. So, oh, thank you, my love. So, Sammy, I do have a course as well here on manifesting love. Ooh, here it is. I don't have all of my courses on, but attract your soulmate, heal, manifest, and open to love. Okay, so for those of you who want to manifest love, I do recommend that course. It's going to help you manifest love. So what I'm hearing is that, Sammy, you can manifest a new relationship if that is what you want. You have the ability to do that. So it's time to begin to shift your focus. It's time to call in that love, that manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life now. Write it down on paper. Manifestation step 1. So I always say this with manifesting love, though, be very careful about what you ask for. And I always say ask for what you need, not what you want, okay? So we all want a 6-foot guy who's blonde, maybe not blonde, but whatever, blue-eyed or whatever you're into, muscled up, I don't know, Dwayne Johnson. We all like that, right? But the truth of the matter is that that's going to die out. Physical stuff, all of that sort of stuff is very superficial things. But what do we need in love? So what is your love language, for instance? For me, it's time, how the person spends time with me. For me, it was things like, does somebody prioritize my needs? Does somebody care about my well-being? Somebody who wants to take care of me and who can take care of me. That doesn't necessarily mean financially. It also means emotionally, okay? Because I mean, you can pay, you can pay for a new Gucci bag, which I don't want, but you could pay for one, but that's not going to solve my problems, okay? So, I keep saying okay, I hate that. So yeah, so it's time for you to manifest, Sammy. So I think it's also because you're feeling kind of like, oh, this thing ended, and now what? And you're kind of leaving it up to the universe. And no, you can take control over that. Do you want a new relationship? Then start manifesting it now. Ask for help, but what I'm seeing here is that you are still kind of holding on to your ex. Okay, so it's almost like let him go. See her, she's like, bye. That's what I'm seeing right now, okay? So it's like, let him go, okay? There's still like parts of you and energies that you're holding on to. He might be still holding on to you for some reason, okay? So I feel like there's still energetic connection there. And it's not because it was always all bad. I do think that there was something there between you two that was very meaningful and very deep. And sometimes when it is like that, it's so hard to let go of. Of course, doesn't mean bad things didn't happen in the relationship, but you guys did have a very strong connection. And so sometimes what happens is we hold on to that because we think we're never going to meet somebody who's ever going to make us feel that way ever again. Or whatever it is, the story, right? It's not true. If it was true, you guys would have worked out. Okay? Every relationship is going to be different. And if it's the same, I feel like you should be concerned. It means you're reliving a trauma or a pattern. And that's never a good sign, I feel. But when it's new, when it's something new that you're experiencing, to me, sometimes that's a good sign. But again, ask for help, and whether that's like spiritual help or doing some online courses or anything to basically help you heal. And I always say this, I mean this, if you still have your ex in your heart, there's no room for somebody else to enter. Your heart is full. It's taken. It's like an apartment. You want two people to move into the same apartment. Not going to work out, right? Two boyfriends, not going to work out. So even though you've broken up physically, emotionally, you might still be attached or have expectations, and that's going to be hard. So it's time to let that go, okay? I hate saying okay every 2 minutes. I'm never going to get over that. And again, it's feeling safe within letting that go, trusting that something better is going to come in, and always look at your ex's relationship as a stepping stone to the next best thing. And then, of course, you got protection. The fairies protecting, shielding you with the magic fairies ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking upon a spiritual work, okay? So, I keep saying it. So one of this is also like healing the chakras. Again, I do see like energetic healing, going through like the process. There's a lot of meditations around that. So specifically like channeling it with the relationship. So that when you do bring in the new relationship, you are bringing in something that is a step up from what you had before. But again, looking at your needs, being honest with yourself about your needs. What in the old relationship you did not get that you really needed. And of course, being realistic, right? Because we also have to give and take, and also looking at yourself and the things that you need to heal about yourself in that old relationship. Maybe having certain too much high expectations, or never being happy, or I don't know what the thing is that you have. For me, it's always been anger. Like, I'm a freaking angry ass bitch, you know what I mean? And like, my husband has a hard time with that because he's so gentle and sweet. At the same time, it's also a good thing depending on how you channel it, right? But at one point in our relationship, it's not good to always like to have all this anger. And so I had to admit it. And it's very painful to shift that, because that's my coping mechanism. That's my healing. That's my protection. So we've learned over the time how to deal with it. I'm learning how not to be angry and go from 0 to a million real quick. And still working on certain things, for the most part, I'm way better, but it's a work in progress. But I have to own my shit as well, because he doesn't deserve that, because he's not the one who hurt me. It's people in my past that hurt me, and now anybody does anything wrong and I'm like, rah! You know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's not fair, So when we start doing the healing work and all that sort of stuff, and the manifestation work, that's when gold happens, Okay. So what I'm hearing here is like, start letting go of that old relationship. You really have to surrender because there's a part of you that's holding on to it. Do the healing work. Okay. That means healing yourself, owning the parts of you that fucked up and that needs work, and healing all the things that didn't work out and the other people that you've been manifesting that haven't been fulfilling you. So starting to ask for your needs and being honest about that. And then do the manifestation work. Do my online course in the meantime and just see what happens. I'm pretty sure there's some healing stuff in there as well. But I think in that combination, then you can begin to start manifesting and attracting somebody into your life that it's going to be new and it's going to be exciting. And once you get somebody new, you're not even going to be thinking about your ex anyway. They're right. If you found the love, you don't think about your exes, guys. It's just like, I have somebody amazing that's fulfilling me. Make sense? And I'm going to get my giant water. I could do weights with this. Just work out in the meantime. Yes, deeply resonate. Definitely carrying old baggage that I'm ready to heal. Oh, you're so welcome, Sammy. Best of luck. I'm excited for you, but you are ready, okay? Just do the healing work and you got this. Okay, CG, what you doing? How you doing? What are you doing? What's happening? What's going on? Hey, okay. I'm feeling uncertain on how to prepare for the upcoming year. I've been pretty stagnant for the last couple of weeks and getting frustrated because I don't know what to work on, and that makes me feel like I'm wasting time. Yeah. Even though time is irrelevant, I still feel like I should be doing something. Okay. I wonder if there is some guidance maybe for my business or even a personal life. I know that's broad. Maybe I need a general guidance. No, I get you. That makes sense. So one of the things that came up in the group reading, because I don't think you were here, was actually like, this is a real time to go inward and not take a lot of action because we're in the winter of my life. You know, Lana Del Rey, the Blue Jeans song, as that, in the winter of my life. No, but when we're in winter, it's time to sit back and reflect. And sometimes, even though it doesn't feel like we're doing much, what we're doing is that we're revisiting what worked, what didn't work. And you're a doer, you're an A type, so you constantly need to, you get validation by achieving and getting feedback, right? But sometimes the stepping back is the best thing that we could possibly do. So we'll just see what comes up. Hello. Hello. It's me. What you're looking for. Ooh, nice. That almost fell out. Oh, yeah. Okay, that one did for sure. Anything else? Anything else? Cool. Okay, so so I love this card. There is something better waiting for you. Do what you know is right for you. A spiritual quest. So you are about to overcome something for sure. I do feel like you're about to overcome, like get to the other side, going on a bridge. But what I'm hearing here is because the reason why you're frustrated is because you're looking at the situation as if you're losing something and not seeing it from an abundant perspective, which is easy to fall into. So oftentimes when obstacles or stagnation or things show up, we always look at it at like, fudge, I'm not moving forward or I'm not going somewhere. But oftentimes what that's doing is trying to basically like redirect you somewhere or shift your sorry, I'm just rereading that. Yeah. So stagnation often can mean that is like there needs to be an adapting to something. There needs to be some kind of change. Because what I got here is, this is an interesting card, this one. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change. Extremes in how you save or spend money. So what I'm getting here is that like there is resistance essentially to a shift. There is a part of you that is like, and maybe like you feel, I know you feel like you've tried different things, right? But sometimes we're not looking at the things that we resist. Sometimes we put ourselves in a box and we're like, I can only do it this way, or I'm not willing to do it that way. But what I'm hearing here is like they're almost trying to get you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. I don't know why. I hope this is making sense, because I mean, like, it's I'm getting different things here at the same time. So sometimes it's like when you get to a point, CG, where you're just so bored and so over it, it's like, fuck it, I'll just do this thing, right? So it's almost like you're put in the situation for a reason, because it's like with you, I think sometimes you're so strong-headed and so like focused that unless they do that, you're not gonna see it, because you are so determined, and it's a beautiful gift, but it can also sometimes be the very thing that can like go against you, if that makes any sense. But the good thing is, this is not forever. They're making it very clear, okay? So this situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now flow. Put the past behind you. So there is going to be a break. Even though right now it feels like there isn't, there is going to be a break. But this whole thing with you, it's like a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual quest, a spiritual growth, which means you keep going through lesson through lesson through lesson. And sometimes it's like, all right, I get it. I'm going through lesson. When the fuck is my reward? Right? Sometimes it's just so frustrating, because it's like, how much more do you want me to suffer? How much more do you want me to learn? How much more do you want me to grow? But oftentimes that's because there's also a lot of resistance, and there also needs to be something that needs to be shifted. I'm trying to think of how to word it, because I know what they're saying here. Let me get more cards so they sometimes help me to like word things clearly. It's almost like there is sometimes when we go through lesson through lesson through lesson, it serves its purpose, but then sometimes we think that's the only way that we can grow, or the only way that we can get abundance, or the only way that our business can thrive. And oftentimes it requires us really to like think outside of the box, like crazy outside of the box. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm just channeling the energy here. I'm just looking for a solution for you here, because I want answers. I don't want just like, this is what the problem is. And you're like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Why do you have to fall on the floor? You know there's a table, right? Okay. So it's almost like, CG, sometimes we have this belief system that in order to succeed, we have to work really hard. And this is something that I think it's a subconscious programming in you that you have. And I think you have so much wisdom and so much information, and you're very knowledgeable. But again, when it comes to subconscious programming, it is subconscious. We're not aware of it. And so we think we can see it. We think we know what it is. And then, of course, we don't, because it's subconscious. So I feel like a little bit of this is coming up. And so sometimes when these things show up, it's giving you time really to stop and reflect, or pivot again. So a couple of things as well came up here is like, you got the kitchen witches. So the kitchen witches are really about, what are you ingesting? And it could be energies, it could be thoughts, it could be patterns, it could be belief systems. So what are you taking in? What do you tell yourself over and over again? What are you ingesting into your energy field that you are like, all right, I'm wasting time, or this isn't the answer, whatever it is, the story that you're telling yourself is like, oh, if only I just work a little bit harder, a few more hours. And that sometimes can turn into poison, right? But what I'm hearing is shifting that into like, okay, I'm going to change the way I think, change what I'm ingesting, change the information that I'm taking in, and try it from a whole new place. And what I'm hearing here is like, you got the unicorns, right? So the unicorns are all about free and love and happiness and joy. So it's like, what if it could be easy? What if it could be something that just comes to me and it's not actually a lot of work? That's what I mean. Yeah. So the unicorns are very free, okay? So it's again quantum leaping into the solution as opposed to focusing too much on the problem. And so what if I just fucking just sit back for a minute and just have a fucking shower, give myself a massage, whatever it is that you need. Because sometimes that's when the ideas come in. It's not when we're working hard and draining ourselves to the ground, especially if you listen to a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff. They always tell you, it's like, I was like up for 3 days and I did not sleep and I finally got my millions. I was like, great, that worked for you. But like, I also hear people like, I don't work. I work like 2 hours a day and I just made like $5 million. So who's right here? So the unicorns essentially are to remind you of the power of love, one that is free, unconditional, and not rooted in ownership or control. This experience is not just about relationship or relationship to what's going on. It's a lesson in understanding love beyond attachment. If someone is being possessive or controlling, it's time to recognize and reclaim your freedom. Love should uplift and not confine. Open your heart to love that flows without conditions, and allow yourself to experience the purest form. So sometimes I think with UCG, when you get blocked, let me see what you said. Yeah, I think I've been focused on being stuck, that I may have unconditionally called in that energy. And that's the other thing. I'm used to ideas just flowing to me and I don't even have okay. Because you're working too hard and you're pushing and you're trying to control, CG. That's what it really comes down to. So when this happens, what is the most uncomfortable thing that you could possibly do? I know what it is. Not doing anything and stepping back for a minute, right? Because you're A-type and you want to control the situation, you want to work hard, and that's how you get your reward. Sometimes doing the very thing that is against your nature, it's the thing that you need. And this is what I mean. It's like, it's really about adapting and shifting and stop doing the same thing over and over again. This is something that I teach myself all the time too, you know. So ideas come when you're having a hot shower, when you're relaxed, when you're singing in the morning, when you're just waking up and having breakfast, when you're going for a run, when you're in a state of openness and freedom. Ideas don't come when you're in a controlled focus and like, you know, I never had an epiphany when I've been mad, you know. So it's usually when you're chill, when you're open, your energy's open. So get yourself into an open state. But for you, that feels like you're wasting time. When I could be using my energy to build my business as opposed to fucking relaxing and enjoying myself and being lazy. It's not what you're doing. You're taking care of yourself. It's very different. Lazy people are not building shit. Lazy people don't do anything. They just want to watch Netflix. That's not what you're doing. Taking a moment to take care of yourself and nurturing yourself and just stepping back doesn't mean you're stepping out. It means you're just stepping on the side for a minute. Everything is still there so that you can step back in, recharged, ready, and powerful. Very different intention. Okay? So the last card that you got is the fire spirits. The fire spirits are asking you to break the cycle. You're in a cycle. You need to break it. You need to make some kind of a change. You need to shift your energy completely. Do a 360. So again, I would suggest just step back for a couple of days. Try not to do anything if you can. It's going to be okay. Just see. Sometimes we think, oh, but if I step back, everything's going to fall apart. Is it? Is it really going to fall apart? I mean, obviously do the things that you have to do, but if there's other things that you don't have to do, don't do them. You know, I do this a lot with my business. Sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, some days I'm like, all right, today I'm just going to clean the fucking house because I need to do something else and I need to focus my energy on something else. And then when I come back, I can see things much clearer. But when I'm like so focused, I'm like, headache, whatever. Yeah, it'll make sense. Maybe that's the reason for the kitchen witches nurture more. Absolutely. Okay. And all you have to do, it probably just like 1 or 2 days. You're not going to miss out on 1 or 2 days. And remember, when time doesn't exist, we forget this. We think that we've lost 2 days. You can gain that back in 1 day of work. But when you're recharged and when you're focused. Make sense? because you really can be wasting days when you're drained. You're actually like working 5 days as opposed to 1 day. Yeah. So what I'm hearing here essentially is like you need to break the cycle, step back, take a minute, a breather, allow the inspiration to come to you. It's okay. You're safe in stepping back, right? Because there's this fear. I feel like I have that too. It's like, oh my God, if I don't fucking control anything. Thank God I'm getting way better at it now. But every time I do that, I never regret it because I come back, I'm focused, and I'm back on it again, and I'm boom, I get so much more done for some reason. It's like, fuck, I only worked for an hour, but I feel like I've been working for like 6 hours. Make sense? Work. Do me. Sorry, I had to. I get these like. So you got this, girl. You got this. I feel like I should make a song, like a little jingle about it. Cool. So CG, do you have any more questions, by the way, before we move on? Or do you feel like you got what you needed? In the meantime. Aw, you're so welcome, my love. Excuse me, everybody. Now I need to turn it into wine, and then we're good. No, you're so welcome, my love. Thank you so much. Annie Latta, you are next. And what's your question? And in the meantime, I will introduce you guys to one of my rats. What are you doing? This is Teddy. And Anilatta, do you have a question, by the way? This is Teddy. He's a rat. He's so sweet. He's a baby. Yeah. He's very sweet. Yeah. Okay. So what's your question? About my focus on relationship with Eric and pivoting away from him and us into what focus? Okay. Question about my focus on. So I'm assuming Eric is your boyfriend? So you want to move away from this relationship, Annie, just to be clear? Do you want to come in? So Annie, I'm just waiting for you to reply, by the way. So just making sure that what you're saying is that you're in a relationship with this person and you're essentially ready to move away or from them specifically into something new. Okay. I'm going to put him back in his cage because I'm going to get distracted. I say bye-bye. What a good boy. Thank you so much. That was a nice one, Teddy. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's find out. Yeah, so dealing with people with anger, it's a tough one, especially if you don't like anger, because I'm the angry one. So anger often comes from a place of self-empowerment, and what I tell my husband now to ask me whenever I get angry, it's like I tell him is like, ask me, what am I trying to protect? Because that's my protection mechanism. So instead of telling me stop being angry or you're angry again or whatever, because that's just going to make me even more pissed off, I tell him, ask me, what am I trying to protect? I don't know if this is going to work with your partner, obviously, but that's all they're doing. That's all we're doing. So it's often protecting our inner child, our emotions. There's something that we're essentially just protecting when we get angry. Let's see. Really? Ugh. So much effort. Try that again, shall we? And no, I didn't see the message before, so thank you for writing it down again. There we go. Two. Oh, well, yeah, you add drugs onto that. That's not going to be helpful, obviously. And you got to be careful for your safety too, my love, because angry people, unfortunately, who can't manage their anger become violent. And I only know this because of myself. I have to be very careful. You know, sometimes when I'm so enraged, I need to hit stuff, you know. So I try to hit objects. Obviously, I never hit my husband, but you know, if he's in the way, I have like, get out of my face, you know, kind of thing. And it's not his fault. It's just like, it's very primal, and it's to the point where it's, again, it's protecting to the point where it's like somebody feels like they need to attack something. So you know, just be aware that it's something that you have to be careful. Somebody has anger issues. Okay, so the Lemurians lived in perfect harmony with all beings and understood the importance of balance. They are here to remind you to restore balance in your life, heal, and take time to prioritize yourself, Annie. This situation is calling for a powerful transformation. Embrace it with an open heart and begin the healing journey. So you got the Lemurian card. So essentially the Lemurians, when they're coming out, essentially they're saying that I think you're focusing so much on the other person and their damage that you're not realizing the damage that it's doing to you. And again, having an angry person, there's nothing wrong with that, but an angry person who's not taking accountability and who's not healing and who's not doing the work is not a good person to be around, okay? And that can cause a lot of damage to you. And what I'm hearing here is that this is what's happening. And I feel like because sometimes that person is the louder person, the person who's obviously got a lot more problems than you've entered the state of, okay, my problems are not that bad, let me help them. Not understanding that this is going to have a ripple effect in your future later on. Once you get out of this relationship, you're going to understand how much damage that caused. So it's causing extremes within you and your energy. And what I'm hearing here is that you really need to take time to heal and really prioritize yourself. It's very important. You got to stop prioritizing this person because they have to help themselves. Like I said, with my husband and I in the relationship, he didn't help me to fix my anger. I fixed my anger. That's not his responsibility. And also, it doesn't really have anything to do with him. My reaction, my overreaction to situations are my triggers. They're my problem. And they become his problem if I don't fix it, right? Of course, they can help you as long as I'm willing to work with the person. But if I'm not willing to work with them, then that's not going to help, right? It's not going to do anything. I'm just beating him up now. I don't beat him up, but you know what I mean. Energetically, emotionally beating them up. So I think this is causing a lot more damage than you think it is, Annie. And I think, honestly, you got to start really focusing on yourself a little bit more and stop being the savior. Stop trying to protect him. Stop trying to fix him. You're not his mom. You're not his therapist. You're his girlfriend. And that relationship should be equal. And if it's not equal, then there's a big problem. Okay? Stop saying okay. The next one you got is Aladdin genies. Okay? So when the Aladdin genies come up, essentially this is a desire for change. You have a desire to change. Now, what happens with this type of relationship, again, Annie, is that you have guilt leaving him. Because now you've entered the role of the healer and the protector and the savior. What happens is like, oh my God, what's going to happen to him if I leave? He's going to fall apart. He's going to kill himself. He's going to do whatever it is, unalive himself. Sorry, we can't say that word apparently. Hi, Piggy. We can't say those words on the internet anymore. But these are things that run through our head, right? Because we're afraid that if we leave, more damage is going to happen. But again, that's not your responsibility. So you have a desire to move on. You have a desire for something better. You have a desire for something that is more in alignment and more fair and more equal. And I think you just got to start admitting that a little bit to yourself, because you obviously put it in the question, but I don't think you really have the aha moment where you're like really owning that. So what the good thing about this is, the Aladdin genies, when this card comes up, like I said before with somebody else's reading, is that essentially when you make that change, good things start happening for you. But you have to make that change, and that step is the hardest part. It's the most difficult thing to do. The next thing I got is like, I think you're going to need some help and some counseling, okay? Stop saying okay. I don't know if you're seeing a therapist. I'm going to just yell it out every 2 minutes now. I don't know if you're seeing a therapist or if you have a good mentor or a good counselor. Again, be careful who you get advice from. Now, we don't go to the people who have no relationship and don't know how to be healthy for advice, right? We want to go to somebody who has already a healthy relationship, who knows how to love themselves. Those are the people that we want to go to advice from. But what I'm hearing here is that you need some help along this way. You got to stop doing everything yourself. Because you are so strong and you're so wise and you're so kind, you're so used to not asking for help, and you just take on, you're the helper usually. But right now, I feel like it's a time where you can ask for a little bit of help. I think you're going to need a little bit of help to help you out of this transition, so you don't fall back into rescuing patterns where you again prioritize the other person over your own needs. Your needs are just as important and just as valid. And just because he's more messed up than you doesn't mean that he takes front row seat. If he's not doing the work, yeah, I'm realizing the savior pattern, and yes, I need my healing too. Yeah. So what I'm hearing here is that you really need to start looking for some help for yourself, Annie, because I think it's going to help you. I think it's going to motivate you, and I think it's going to help you see things a lot clearer. I haven't needed a therapist in a long time, but the time that I did ask for one, because I had so much issues, it's been so helpful for me, and I'm always open to therapy when I'm having, if my mental, thank God I haven't needed anything for a long time, but there were times where I did went for help, and it's always the best decision. You're never going to regret asking for help, professional help especially. Yes, has been financially helping me, so I have that. See, okay. So, and again, what are you getting from it, right? But again, it's that thing that like now he has this power and you have this, so you both are like have something, but again, these are things that you can begin to do, start getting the help, start getting the healing, start getting the therapy, so that you can build your life without him, so that you can hopefully build your own financial stability or something, so that you don't need him anymore. Because let's be real, if he wasn't financially helping you out, would you still stay? Right? That's something that you could ask yourself. And I understand, by the way, like, listen, I get it. Financial security is super important. A lot of people end up in this cycle because it can have severe repercussions. You being out there by yourself with nothing else, it's like terrifying. So I totally get that. But that doesn't mean that you can't start working towards getting your own financial security. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you got the mystic angels. So the mystic angels are both tough and healers, reminding you that strength and sensitivity can coexist. You have the power to discover who you truly are. You only need to see it and own it. Above all, let go of social expectations and be aware of subconscious programming that keep you in fear. So what I'm hearing here is really actually to do with your fear of not being able to support yourself and not being able to take care of the situation on your own. So I feel like, Annie, there's a little bit of codependency here from you. There's a part of you that does not believe you can do it. And so you essentially rely on people to help you with it in the sense of like financial exchange or something else maybe. So that's not the point. The point of this is like you got to start believing in yourself that you can do it. And imagine all that energy that you're using into rescuing him. You put it into a job or building an education to get a better job or whatever it is, right? Building a business, having hustle on the side. I don't know what your thing is, right? But the point is I feel like you don't believe you can do that. And that's the problem. You got to start believing in yourself that yes, I can figure this out, and yes, I can financially get financially stable somehow. I don't know how, but I can do it. And I got to figure out how. Some of the dumbest people are the richest people on the planet, guys. You got to remember that. And there's a reason for that, because they don't overthink it like we do. You know, it's like they're just like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good investment. Oh, what do you know? Luck in my side, because they're willing to take the risk that we're not. So remember that if a dumb person can be rich, so can you. That's the best advice I've ever given all day. Is like, so if a dumb person can be rich, so can you. So does that make sense though, Annie? So I'm not telling you, I don't like telling people always the answers of what they need to do, because sometimes it's not just a yes or no. Sometimes there's a lot of grays in between, you know. Obviously this relationship is not good. I mean, you know that. I don't need to tell you that, right? The point is you need help to get out, and you need help to improve yourself so that when you do, you feel stable, you feel strong, and just being aware and honest with yourself with the situation. And then the decision is yours. You should never give your power to somebody else to change your life, to make decisions for you. This is your decision. But you want to make that shift from an empowered, stable place, not from a place of shit, I don't know what I'm doing, because you're going to fall right back in. If you don't have a foundation or something else to fall back on, you're going to just hop back in, right? So I would highly recommend that you would seek I'm hearing a therapist or some kind of therapy, somebody who is there for you and is listening to your needs, and make it about you, not about him. Don't go to see a therapist to say, oh, well, my husband has anger issues, or my boyfriend, or whatever, and he's always him. Fuck him, okay? It's about you. I'm feeling like this, and I think I would love to go here, and I'm looking for this thing, and I really feel like I need, If you feel selfish, self-absorbed, embrace it. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're not selfish and self-absorbed. So, does that make sense? So even if you're looking into therapy, you can always try it. Doesn't work, fine. Find somebody else. I mean, again, therapy can be a little bit difficult. Like we think, oh, you're the first therapist. No, sometimes it takes to see 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. I know one who's really good. She's been great with me. You know, I got my husband one for a while. He found it very useful as well, because I felt like he needed some help with some stuff, although I felt like he didn't. I feel like I should have chosen the right therapist for him, but do you know what I mean? But you got to try it. There's better help as well out there. I haven't tried that. I was looking into that, but they couldn't help me with my specific need. There's so many things, more affordable things out there nowadays. So the point is just try, just look, just see what you can find. Maybe a spiritual healer if you're more into the woo-woo stuff, you know. But again, be careful, because sometimes people have good intentions, but they're not right for you. So how you know it's right is your life getting better. If your life is getting better, then you found the right person. If it's not, change. So do you have any more questions, Annie? Do you feel like I answered your question? had one I didn't completely open up. Right, I need to find a new one. Thank you. Ah, well, that's the whole point of therapy. You know what's great about it is that the person, honestly, they can't, like, what I love about therapy is that this person has no interest in your life. They don't care. And above everything else, there's nothing that you can tell them half the time that these people haven't heard. There's nothing like that's creepy or scary. And you got to open up, because that's the whole point. Because if you don't open up, you can't hear your truth. They can't help you, you know. So, and yes, it's for you and not for him. Let him fix himself. Oh, that's a good one, Carla. And you check out the Embody Lab. That's nice. They have a directory of therapists who work with somatic, and some have spiritual grounding as well. I love that, Carla. Thank you so much for the suggestion. See, there you go, right there. All right, guys, so we're at the end. I know a few people wanted to ask questions, but we didn't get to it because we had so many people that gave donations. So if you have a question, I can draw one card for you just for a quick answer if you like. If not, feel free also just to ask me any questions about spirituality, law of attraction, yada yada yada, yada yada yada, all of the things. And if not, that's fine too. I just realized I have to memorize lines, by the way. I was like, oh no. So before we close out, let me know. Thanks for the question, Loni. So each course is different. Usually each day it's like between 6 minutes to 15, 20 minutes, maybe the longest. But you just do it at your own pace. So you can just go back, replay it. That's however you want. So you can take your time with the courses at your own pace. I usually like playing stuff in the background whenever I'm working out, or whenever I'm like just going for a walk. That's always a good time, or just sitting down and just writing it down, but they're not very long. Which deck are you reading from? Well, I got a lot of cards, but I'm assuming you're asking these ones. Self-promotion here. Rihanna, this is my oracle deck that I made. Yeah, so I made this oracle deck, the Realms Oracle deck. As you can see, that's my name. Love it. I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, so I made this, so you can find that if you follow my website. I can't self-promote here, but if you Google my name and you write the Realms Oracle deck, it'll come up. So you can go and check it out. Also, my website is on Insight Timer, so you can go and check it out there. It goes with the book as well. Yeah. So Carla, you asked for a card, right? Okay, let's see what comes up for you. Do you have a specific question or just a general card? I'm getting these ones for you. Ooh. An excellent opportunity to use scholarship of the pursuit of education. Time to get to work. I love this for you. So what I'm feeling, honestly, very strongly for you, Carla, is something's going to come in like an offer or an opportunity or some kind of a change, either to scale. Make it complicated. Because if you leave it open, they'll tell you what, like something, but up to you. But I do feel like it's time for you to also grow your knowledge a little bit. So I know you're always learning and stuff. I'm sure you're always growing, but it's almost like again, something that's going to expand your knowledge, some opportunity, possibly studying a little bit more. I don't know. Could be with work, but it also could just be like an offer, an opportunity essentially is coming in. So I love that card. It's a good card. It's a very good card to have. It means like abundance, maybe a promotion. It could be anything, a new job within that realm, but something new to expand. That's a good one. Do you pull cards for your animals? Can you pull one for Teddy? Oh my gosh, I never thought of that. I've been debating on going back to my PhD, but I don't want to go in linear. Hey. Well, sometimes we need that. Who knows? But definitely, they're like, look, there's books. There's a lot of books there. And I feel like if you're meant to, Carla, I think just put it out there. Maybe put it out there for your spiritual team to sort of. Teddy, by the way, is staring at me. Teddy! Oh, your little munchkin. Ask your team to give you like a direct sign just to like confirm everything. You might see PhD everywhere, you know what I mean? But that's already something that's telling you, you know what I mean? It's pretty clear. My niece is named Ariel, and I have been dreaming about lionesses. That's cool. Yeah, so the lions, which is this oracle deck, by the way, it's all about power and strength. And Ariel, I'm not sure too much about her, but reliable, clever, educated, balanced. Yeah, it's one of the angels. So I would suggest that you look into the angel Ariel and what she represents, because I think you might get some insights on that. I'm sure if you Google it, it'll come like a whole... the name means lioness of God. There you go. There you go. I love that. I love that. Okay. Let's see if I get... See, that's why I didn't ask. Girl, you are a lot wiser. You know what's right for you. But I feel like, Carla, you're so wise and you've got so much wisdom and information in you, you know, that sometimes, you know, you just got to trust yourself, trust the information that you get, you know what I mean? And sometimes it can go against you too, though. Sometimes when you know too much and when you're like always working on yourself and growing, it's like, I already know everything. Sometimes I feel like that sometimes. And then it's like, always go with the perspectives like, I don't know anything. And there's so much that can come in that is like a curveball, or I don't know, you know, you just never know. But if you're getting the vibe, the intuition to do your PhD, and it's like coming back and it's subtle, it might be a sign of your intuition. And sometimes we start one thing and it might not mean that we're going to go down that route, but sometimes that's just a stepping stone for something much better. Just remember that as well. But the only way to get to that stepping stone is like, you got to go to that, if that makes any sense. So what are you doing? Hey, Iggy. Hi. He was eating the wall last week, by the way. So he's literally been chewing through my wall, this guinea pig. A few months ago, you do a reading about this coming. But it wasn't ripe. Well, she's gonna get there. Let's see, I'll do one more card for my deck. Let's see what they want to tell you, since we're on the subject of my oracle cards. Oops. So you got the Star Mers and then the Forest Fairies. The Star Mers are asking you to slow down and reset your nervous system. You may be experiencing intense emotion and preventing you from feeling grounded. Now it's time to nurture yourself and protect your energy. Pause, meditate, and listen. Deep down, you already know what you need. Trust yourself and allow the healing to flow. And then you got the Forest Fairies that remind you to stay true to your nature and walk your own path. Even when it feels easier to follow the crowd, you are meant to live authentically, not to fit into expectations that don't align with your soul. Follow what fills your heart and fuels your purpose. At the same time, be mindful of self-sabotaging behaviors that may be holding you back. Trust yourself, embrace your uniqueness, and allow your spirit to flourish freely. So a little bit of fight or flight energy, Carla, which means if you can ground yourself and get yourself into a peaceful state, that's going to help you to know also what the energy is. And just like the forest fairies are very interesting. I love the forest fairies, but they often get influenced very easily by other people. And so, and it could be ideas, it could be other people, it could be ideologies, whatever it may be. And so when the forest fairies come up, it's often like a sign of just like, what is the best thing for my path, my highest path? Fuck everybody else, you know. It's like, what is it that I know is best? So if it's to do a PhD to get you to that level, maybe that's what you have to do. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's something around that realm, and maybe you need to think a little bit more outside the box, right? So whatever it may be open, be curious to the answer, and not have any attachments. I think that's always the best way to look at it. Yeah, shielding meditation, and maybe also just like a meditation of just like relaxing and peacefulness as well, you know. Oh, the shielding course. Yeah, that's a good one too. And manifest your dreams, you know, whatever it is, you guys. There's a ton of courses. I just did one, like I said, on quantum leaping. I don't have it here, but there is so many meditations you guys all know that I have. So go and definitely check them out. There's something in there for everybody. So cool, guys. So I gotta go and feed the gang now. We've been here for 3 hours, you guys. I've been 3 hour live. This is probably the longest I've done it on Insight Timer. So if there's any more questions before I check out, now it's the time. And if not, that's fine too. I gotta do so much reading. Yes, you said the same thing about the nervous system last time, and I have been taking care since then, and this has come in. Thank you, Jacqueline. Oh, you're so welcome, Carla. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, it's our nervous system is always running on high because of this world. You know, this planet already is like intense, and then we add the stresses of life on top of that, and we think we're fine, but there's just like so much going on. So yeah. All right, guys, so I'm gonna check out. Yes, they are, for sure. Yes, there's a lot going on, y'all. There's always a lot going on. I mean, I guess there's times that it's slower, but yeah, there's always a lot going on. So especially for those of you who are sensitive to energies and other things that are happening, because some of us are tuned into other things like aliens and who knows, other dimensions. So there's a lot going on. Oh, thank you. Yee, big hug, everybody. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much all for joining me today. I'm so grateful for your time, for hanging out with me. Thank you, Tim. I might give him a reading one day. I don't know. I've never tried that. That's a good one. Thank you so much for your time, guys, and everything. Obviously, make sure to go and check out all my products, all my stuff on Insight Timer, of course. So we've got a ton of courses, meditations, all for you. And if you want to reach me, just make sure you send me an email. I've had a few people saying that they've directly messaged me on Insight Timer. For some reason, I don't know how to read them. So if I don't reply, just so you know it's not done on purpose, make sure you just send me an email. My website is on Insight Timer. You can find me there. And that's it, guys. Well, I hope you have an amazing, magical rest of your week. And I'll try to schedule again for next Wednesday. I think I'm available, but if not, just keep an eye out. That's it, guys. Sending you so much love. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm so grateful. Sending you so much love. And best of luck to everybody. Thank you so much for the donations. And have a magical day. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you, guys.